You got to love the unofficial depth chart panic that gets created and the opportunities that arise from such panic. Now, there are some things to look at, and there's some double talk. At least a passerby might say, well, Smitty, why are you not worried about this, but you're worried about this? Or why does this matter and that not matter? It's the same thing as like a 40 time. A 40 time might mean something great, but a 40 time might also make somebody think something's happening that's not happening. A player that has just a good 40 time doesn't make them a good player. You shouldn't rise somebody up your rankings because of a 40 time. But if you love a player and they surprise everybody with the combine or 40 time, it's evidence of stuff that you already think is in motion. Same thing can be with official or unofficial depth charts. And we're talking about unofficial right now. That RJ Harvey listed number 2 under J.K. Dobbins is a concern. Well, first of all, what was it, 3 or 4? Officially listed as 3 or 4, or unofficially listed, and now he's 2. I mean, the climb's already happened. And then you got Caleb Johnson in Pittsburgh being listed as number 3, and then it's like, Smitty, why are you worried about that? Well, there's a contract that they just handed Jaylen Warren, and they're paying him pretty decent money. There's different components each side of this. We'll break it all down. Travis Hunter, people constantly talking about this kid, wanting to hate him for so many reasons, wanting to push him down. He's going to get injured. You can't play both sides. I'm Steve, and I'm on my couch right now, and I'm saying, Smitty, Travis Hunter can't play both sides of the football. There's just no way it's happening, Smitty.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Also live at midnight Eastern, almost every single night. The Harvey doubters are hilarious because they really... They have an agenda that's wild, that's just completely wild and based on their bad take that they want to have more investment on. They're just, the fact that anybody would ever imagine that RJ Harvey, a second round investment on a Sean Payton team where he loves rookies across the board, he builds his team off of the rookies. The lifeblood of his rosters are always rookies. They're always incoming NFL draft selections. He builds it around a quarterback, Drew Brees. Then he starts putting pieces around Drew Brees. And he's even said the lifeblood of his teams are always through the NFL draft. J.K. Dobbins is a garbage player from last year. He was one of the worst running backs in the league last year and the most injury-prone running back probably in the NFL right now at a semi-high level in terms of positioning on a team's roster. Now, is there a strong chance that this is a 50-50 split in week 1? Sure, absolutely. That doesn't mean anything, though, because they're going to run the hell out of the ball. We don't want him getting 80% of the carries, probably any game. This is a guy that's going to catch 70 footballs on the year. This is a third down back, no matter what somebody tells you. This person over here has an agenda and is saying this pass protection, it's already been addressed. The coach has already said, Sean Payton's already said it of his own mouth, he's not coming off the field on third down. Now, if J.K. Dobbins is out there, then, they might not take him off because there's somewhat of a rotation. And he's had rotations before. Sean Payton has multiple running backs. Why? Because he runs the ball so much. But you got to also understand that the rookie year of Alvin Kamara, Sean Payton had Alvin Kamara catch 81 passes as a rookie in one of the most crowded running back rooms Kamara could have landed in. Mark Ingram, the starting running back, similar position as Dobbins right now, but Dobbins isn't half the running back that Ingram was at this moment in time, because J.K. Dobbins was one of the worst running backs last year in the NFL. He had 2 very good games, and then from his third game on, throughout the entirety of the season, he averaged 3.8 yards per carry and was a dumpster fire. So much so that they didn't bring him back to LAC. So much so that they stopped running the ball because J.K. Dobbins was so bad. They started throwing the ball at the goal line. And yet, somehow, someway, J.K. Dobbins is this big threat. R.J. Harvey was drafted in the second round, and the glowing reviews on every single level, even with his mistakes. Sean Payton's glowing and gushing about it, saying he got lit up on a pass protection play, and a reporter asked him, well, you keep saying that he's not coming off the field. You keep saying, Sean, that you're going to throw the ball to this guy on third down. Why would you take him off the field, which is totally true. You keep saying this, but he got lit up in pass pro today. And you know what Sean Payton's response was? He's learning. It's great. It's fantastic. He's doing an unbelievable job. You need to be lit up to understand that's what you do here. That's what you do here. Sean Payton's taken away all this ammunition. He goes to a podium and he just literally dials back everything that people throw at him. And that yet the agendas people have across the media space just continues to drive home this narrative that J.K. Dobbins is just so much better at pass protection. He's going to be out there on third downs. Maybe he will during his division of carries and workload. Yes, of course. And Sean Payton had Mark Ingram number 9. Mark Ingram finished number 9 in fantasy football running back scoring during Kamara's rookie year, where Kamara caught 81 footballs. Kamara finished as RB number 4. Let me put this on screen real quickly. RB 4 was Kamara. This is his rookie year. And RB 9 was Ingram. RB 4, can't read that. Kamara, Ingram, 9. That's what Sean Payton's offenses can do. No one's saying JK is going to have running back 9 value this year. He will get injured if they use him at that capacity. He'll get probably injured no matter what. But Ingram was producing while Kamara was dominating. Point being, there's going to be a committee of some sort on almost every team in the National Football League. And especially there's going to be a committee on a team that has Sean Payton calling the shots, because Sean Payton runs so much and has so many crazy concepts and designs on third down for running backs that this is going to be you take this, I'll take this, and it doesn't matter because Harvey is going to explode every time he touches the ball. He's explosive. He's a playmaker. He runs like Saquon Barkley between the tackles. And all the criticisms about he can't pop to the outside. Sean Payton literally had this guy go out there and prove it to the world in his final preseason game, where he slipped through the smallest of spaces to get into the end zone, showing everybody that doubted him that he is great between the tackles. Maybe he's learning this and that, and Sean Payton's testing him here. He's passing with flying colors. Every stage, Harvey's passing Sean Payton's test with flying colors, enamored with him, constantly praising him. And everybody that says, well, Smitty, JK was brought in after they drafted RJ Harvey. JK was sitting out there. If they wanted to go grab J.K. Dobbins as their starter, they would have just signed him before the NFL draft if they thought he was that good. They brought him in. They like him. He's a great compliment, but Harvey's the future. Harvey has the second round draft capital. That second round capital guarantees RJ Harvey this opportunity. The second round draft capital tells you that this is the future. This is the guy that Sean Payton wants as his focal point of his Joker-esque hierarchy, where you have 2 jokers, one tight end joker that is going to be his Jimmy Graham mold, which Evan Ingram will try and fill to the best of his ability. Not an easy task because Jimmy Graham was absolutely amazing, but Evan Ingram is one of the better slot wide receiver tight end morphs that we've seen in a while, so he's going to get the ball and get fed tons. But Sean Payton's been asked 3-4 times, who's your joker at running back? Is it J.K. Dobbins? And all the people leading questions trying to make J.K. Dobbins the focal point. So many beat reporters want to talk about this. Why? The controversy is big. You draft a second-round running back. Why isn't he the starter? He is. Well, wait a minute. J.K. Dobbins, you brought him in. Why'd you do that? We brought in J.K. Dobbins because he's good. We want good football players. Okay, but are you worried about pass protection, right, with RJ Harvey, right? Because he's not very good at pass protection. We're looking at the college film, and we don't see good pass protection. What are we doing here with this situation, Coach? And Coach goes, the lifeblood of our team is the NFL draft. And then people still don't get it. He's answered the question 1,000 times over. Then, coach, but are you going to take Harvey off the field if he doesn't have good pass protection? Let's keep asking him the question 7 different ways, guys, because we have an agenda. And then his response is still to shut down all the rumors. He says, I'm not taking off Harvey off the field on 3rd down because you think he can't pass protect. I'm keeping him on the field because the ball's going to him on 3rd down. This is my joker. Who is your joker, coach? Another press conference after he's already said that. Who's your joker, coach? Well, McLaughlin's been a joker school 2 years in a row and has failed to get his stripes. Harvey might be the joker coming from the mouth of Sean Payton. And the joker means 81 receptions. Let's dumb it down. Let's say it's not 81 receptions. It's still going to be in the realm of a 70 reception rookie season for this kid. And he's going to need some help running the ball. If he's catching 70 balls, that means he can't be running 270 times. He can't run 270 times because he's catching the ball this many times. So guess what he runs? Maybe 200 times. Maybe not. Maybe not even 200 times. 70 and 200 is 270 total touches. That's a lot of touches, and he might not be able to do that. Maybe it's 190. Someone's running the ball a whole hell of a lot because this team's going to probably run, after you take out Bo Nix's 70, 80, 90 attempts, you're talking about a near 400 carry total for the RB room alone. Let's call it 380, 375, whatever it is. And if you take out 200 carries, you have 175 to 200 total carries needing to go to a non-RJ Harvey running back. What is so difficult to understand here? I don't know. All I know is that this is to our advantage, not disadvantage. All I know is all panic creates opportunity. And to buy low or to draft low or to trade low, one of these opportunities will serve you right now. You're either going to draft low, buy low, or trade. Like, you're going to buy low in certain contexts. You can add. It's one or the other. And if we're drafting him low, if you still have a draft to come, you're getting this kid maybe 7, 8, 5 picks later because of all the depth chart controversy. He's number 2 in the depth chart. Oh no, this could take longer than we thought. Not to mention, even if the situation is that he does get unraveled a little bit slower than we want. Even if we potentially see him, let's say, not get going until week number 4. Who got going in week number 4 last year that ended up being a top 10 running back, ended up being a top 5 running back during the entire stretch of the season once he was in there, is Chase Brown. Chase Brown took until, and I'm not saying it will take until week 4. I'm just saying that week 4 was when Chase Brown got on his horse. He didn't get on his horse before week 4. He was a disappointment in weeks 1, in weeks 2, in weeks 3. He did not do what we said he would do. Chase Brown, remember we came in yelling it all offseason. Chase Brown, in week 1, I looked kind of like maybe I could be wrong. Week 2, I looked like maybe I was really wrong. Week 3, Smitty doesn't know what he's talking about. I've been yelling Chase Brown like a moron at my draft, in the airport, in the grocery store aisle, next to the bananas, next to the cereal. I'm sitting here recording a video because I had a contest. Whoever yells Chase Brown the loudest, some people recording themselves from a grocery aisle. One guy did it from the airport. He won the contest. I had everybody running around town, local places everywhere yelling Chase Brown at the airport. And I look like a total, utter imbecile walking out of week number 3. I said the same thing about Gibbs in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Smitty, I'm unsubscribing to your channel. It's week 6. Gibbs is nowhere to be found. You ruined my life. You ruined my fantasy season. I'm unsubscribing right now. I can't tell you how many times I read that message over and over and over. Then in week 7, Gibbs was born. Not suggesting Harvey takes until week 7. Not suggesting that Chase Brown, who didn't break out until week 4. I'm not saying Harvey's not breaking out until week 4. But there is a pattern of rookies being unveiled a little bit slower than normal. And then you just have this gradual acceptance that this isn't going to happen. And this gradual doubt that builds and manifests. And if we walk out of week number 1 and this guy doesn't have a touchdown and 100 yards, panic will ensue. This could be, I'm just warning people, that if he has 60 total yards and no touchdowns and 2 receptions and 60 yards total, ends up being like 7 of those being receiving yards, we're gonna have utter panic. Or let's say it's 30 yards receiving and 10 rushing. We're going to have utter panic. We will be able to buy low on this guy, and we will be in here talking that up right away. And there will be people that will walk in and go, what do we do here? We'll hear this common phrase from a bunch of casuals. What are we doing with RJ Harvey? I'm asking, Smitty. I know we like him. I know, but I'm going to preface it, Smitty. I know we like him, but what are we doing with him? I mean, I'm not trying to say I don't like him, Smitty. I'm not trying to say that we should give up on him, but do we give up on him? Smitty, what are we doing with RJ Harvey? That's all I'm trying to ask. And everybody in here, I think we're really wondering if it didn't happen in week 1, maybe it's not going to happen at all, right? Because week 1 tells everything, Smitty. It told it with Chase Brown. It told it with Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to get you upset. How many people are going to come in here after week 1 and be panicking like that on 5, 6, 7 players? What if Travis Hunter, off of all the negativity, has 55 yards on 3 catches in week number 1 and nothing else? What are we going to see on after week 1? Walking into Tuesday morning, really walking into the Sunday night show. We're going to see utter chaos and panic and all the people that seem so strong-willed right now, which is feels like 95, 99% of the live chat right now. This is a strong-looking group. I'm not wavering, Smitty. I'm an RJ Harvey believer to the bone and to the core. Smitty, I'm a Travis Hunter truther. I got him in 7 leagues. I'm a very strong man. I'm standing in front of you with a big will and determination and grit. And then the moment Travis Hunter in week 1 has 40 yards on 3 catches, you're going to curl up into a little ball. And you're going to look like you've been worn down to a nub. Your anxiety is going to eat you away on this topic. And I'm going to have to come in here and try and calm the storm. And I'm going to get a bunch of ridiculous Richards walking in here after Sunday on one of these players. Whether it's Harvey, whether it's Hunter. What are we doing? Croskey-Merritt, Smitty. He was number 16 on the depth chart. I saw it online. 16. I know they don't have that many running backs, but I had 16, Smitty. What are we doing? And if Croskey-Merritt, who was not number 1, not number 2 on the depth chart, he was down there a ways, looks like 4, according to this report. Oh my God, he's 4, and he had 30 yards in week 1. He's done. He's toast. Travis Hunter looks bad in week 1. He's done. He's toast. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. It's going to be fun. Look, buy low, sell high is one of the most important parts of fantasy football. The drafting is a very important part. The trading and the waivers are another whole component. That's why we did a waiver show earlier today. I dropped it. Make sure you go check it out. For some reason, I had knocked off Woody Marks. Someone in the comments had made a comment like, where's Woody Marks? I accidentally, when I was moving him around, he was covered, I think, by one of these guys. So I found him, moved him down. Woody Marks is obviously on this list. But this is the waiver board. And we talked about it in the show, so go watch it. Ollie Gordon's the top pickup of maybe the year. Croskey-Merritt still remains one of the top pickups for the year. And when looking at waivers the way we do it, like nobody else, and people copy the hell out of what we do, the odds of being the number 1 ad of the year is what? We've got these scales where it's who's number 9. Croskey-Merritt was once 9. He was once 8. He was once 4. He was once, as he's climbing up this ranking, and then he became a 10. And a 10 is not given out lightly. We give out maybe, I would say, 2 to 3 9s and 10s all year long. And we already have 2 10s, meaning that if you had your full load of waiver fab, you're doing a full load drop. If Gordon's out there and you haven't listened and he's still out there, you're doing a full load drop. If you don't do a full load drop, you're going to probably miss out on getting him. You're not going to time it right. He shouldn't be on waivers anyway because we've been doing this forever. And a few of you running your mouth Ronnies have said, Smitty, you haven't been talking about Gordon until just recently. We've had this board. This is about the 4th or 5th show, the one that I just dropped earlier this morning, where it's had all these names on here. We've had the cuff board we've talked about for the entire offseason. We talk about it every offseason. The cuff board is magnificent. We've reordered it. We reordered it a long time ago. And even when we didn't reorder it, we still came in here and told you Ollie Gordon, grab Ollie Gordon. Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon were both a part of that decision, just like you've got Bigsby and Tootin. But you got to cipher through the news and sift through the weeds, and it starts to become where a guy like Wright drops off. And then you got the Rodgers talking and saying, Smitty, I just don't understand. I missed out on him, and I want to blame you. So I'm going to come in here in your comments and say something like this. Smitty, you didn't tell me about Ollie Gordon in time. Go watch that video, Week 1 waiver video. That is up. If you need Week 1 waiver advice, go watch it. Understand Woody Marks got knocked off the board. I don't know why that happened, but Woody Marks is obviously a great pickup as well. Week 1 waiver board, go watch it, go check it out. But some people in the comments are already saying things like, Smitty, you didn't tell me about Gordon in time. I missed it, so I'm going to be mad at you. And I'm going to say, you didn't talk about Gordon until just recently. That's a bunch of BS. You can say whatever you want, whatever makes you feel better about the fact that you messed up. You screwed up. Your mom's embarrassed of you. She's not even cooking meatloaf tonight. She's not going to even recharge your Game Boy or put new batteries in it tonight because you failed her. You failed her and you didn't get Ollie Gordon, and now you're pissed off. And now you're trying to blame people because they weren't loud enough the moment that you listened. Do you know how much content I create? Do you know how many hours I stream a day, let alone upload a video on top of the Week 1 waiver wire video today? I stream probably more than an 8-hour day. I'm live streaming during the season more than an 8-hour day, and that's just what I do streaming. So much other back-end stuff that goes on, thefantasyfootballshow.com, which is what you need to get over and get your rankings, your bold predictions, your trade calculators, all that stuff. Go check it out, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Link in the description. But so many upset Ungers are mad at themselves, and their mom is literally turning the oven off. The meatloaf going back into the fridge to cool, and the ketchup's going to get all dry and not cook and bake right. Your fault. That's your fault. You didn't pick up Ollie Gordon, and you're in the comments because you're pissed off at yourself. We can only be so loud. And when we talk about a guy like Croskey-Merritt all offseason long on the waiver wire show, which this is the 4th or 5th iteration, as I remind you, we're leaving him on there because it's a victory story. And while you might say, Smitty, didn't you see the news today? Well, let's take a look at the news today. The news today is Commanders list Croskey-Merritt 4th on the unofficial depth chart. Wait a minute. Harvey was just 4th. Now he's 2nd. This stuff moves quick. This stuff doesn't mean anything. Oh, wait. Is it official? No, it's the unofficial, as stated on here. Unofficial depth chart. Croskey-Merritt, who went into the last preseason game like a starter. Couple, get some carries, get him in and out. The fact that anybody's even worried about Croskey-Merritt because they're making him earn his stripes is hilarious to me. And we'll get to why this double talk makes sense. I know I can understand and appreciate why it seems like double talk. Because Smitty, you're low on Caleb Johnson. He's listed number 3. And you think that's a problem. Yet it's so convenient when a Croskey-Merritt's listed as 4 and you don't see it as a problem. That's because of doing some actual reasoning. And I'm bringing logic to the table. There are different outlying circumstances and different components of these things that make it very easy to see what's truly happening. Some teams, they want a player to earn their stripes a little more than others. Other teams sign other players to contract extensions right before the season starts when they don't need to do that, and they're paying them a good, handsome amount of money. And that would be Jalen Warren, who is a big problem and thorn in the side of a Caleb Johnson. I'm not worried about Austin Eckler. I'm not worried about any other running back on this roster being so good that they haven't grabbed the job solo yet, being so good that they didn't drive away Brian Robinson Jr. yet, and then this guy lands on the roster, super excited. The whole offense is excited. He scores a touchdown. They run and grab his game ball. JD5 goes and gets his game ball. You don't think JD5 wants Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt out there? The guy's got an extra twitch, and he's electric. He's speedy. He's got great hands. And more importantly than anything, listen to me clearly on this one. The guy that scouted him, the guy that brought him in, Adam Peters, is a specialist at finding deep talent in the NFL draft process. He identified Brock Purdy in the final pick of the NFL draft during Brock Purdy's rookie year. He identified George Kittle very late in the draft. He's identified JD5. He picked JD5. He knew JD5, as we did, was the top quarterback in his draft class. This is the guy making the decisions to put the right talent in the right spot. And there's no way they're not looking to this kid as the answer at some point. Could it be a week 4 Chase Brown? That's more likely than RJ Harvey waiting until week 4, because Sean Payton's already been absolutely enamored with this kid and his progress, and he's going to get half the work. Who cares if it's half the work? It's a lot of work, and he's going to be ultra efficient with it. No one's saying that Harvey's starting week 1. No one's saying Harvey's got all the work to himself in week 1. Harvey is a rookie that's going to get better every time he touches the field. And he's going to maybe be electric in his halftime work as it grows into 65% of the work, which is what he'll probably max out as, because Sean Payton uses his running backs a lot. And that's enough. And people need to understand it's never going to be 90, 80%. It's going to be 75, probably max, that Harvey gets. And that's all we've ever expected. Anybody that loves Harvey as a top 6 to 12 running back in fantasy football is never sitting there going, I hope he gets 90% of the work. In a Sean Payton offense, he's getting 70% probably max, 75% max. 70% is still a high number to expect, and 65 would be glorious and give him so much work, hand over fist, to be dishing out points. Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt could be a guy that takes till week 4. That's okay. If we walk out of week 1 and he's not an electric Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, every down looking back, that doesn't mean you cut him. It doesn't mean you run. This is a long play, season long play. Not talking it has to be a dynasty long play, but this is a season long play. You might not be starting. You shouldn't probably be starting him anyway. And no one said to go grab him in the 7th round. That was a momentum that people took too far, got ahead of their skis. I tried to tame it as best I could. And there's still reason and belief that he can outperform his 7th round reach value that some people would reach on, which they shouldn't have, because the ADP dictated that he should be going later, but people got ahead of their skis and they just got invested in this situation. And it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means they kind of ruin their opportunity for value at the front end of the weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to be absolutely amazing. This is a kid that I think the world's going to panic on. So we have 2 buy low opportunities in existing leagues that have already drafted. RJ Harvey is probably the best buy low in fantasy right now. He was already a steal, getting drafted in 5-6 round territory. Ripping RJ Harvey off the board at 5.4, 5.7 was league winning. One of the best picks in fantasy, period, in 2025. As low risk as it gets, even if he shared 40% of the work with JK or whoever ends up being the starter when JK goes down, because JK holding up at 40% of the work, especially as bad as he looked last year. After his second game, he averaged 3.8 yards per carry. He was super inefficient, and he's one of the worst producing running backs in the National Football League after his second played game last year, all the way through the end of the season. People don't know that because they run their mouth and they don't have the information. And that's okay. And that's what gives us a benefit and an added value play here. Go buy this guy in a trade. Go trade for RJ Harvey at what probably is outside round 5 value now. I'm not saying you get him for round 10 value, but if you could get him for that same 5-6 territory by giving up something that you don't really even care about and solidifying it, buy him at his draft value. The best news is that he's not going for more than the person that invested in him on draft day. It's not going for more than that value. And you're probably getting him a little bit cheaper. If you do a 2-for-1, you can really get him at a screaming steal. Now, Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, I believe he just became a whole hell of a lot cheaper than he was because the balloon and deflated bubble syndrome, where it's like you've built this balloon up of hope and then you poke it and it explodes. It's really hard for those people to recover and reflate the balloon and try and get back to that hopeful state because it took a while to get there. And they're so disappointed in the fact that he's listed as number 4. They're so disappointed that the memes are everywhere. There's memes everywhere. Like there goes, Bill season's out the window. Bill's this, Bill's that. They're everywhere. Everyone's screenshotting these DMs to me or these memes to me, DMing me these memes. First of all, I don't reply to a lot of those. Just so you know, I see some of them, but I don't reply to them. And that panic is going to continue to build, and it's going to be a glorious opportunity. These two guys are going to be a glorious opportunity to buy low. And if you haven't drafted yet, expect RJ Harvey to be there at the top of 6 or late 5. I still take him at late 5 to be safe, unless you're seeing the ADP, in your format also, guides people down the wrong path. This is a league winner right here. This is a running back 1. It just may be running back 2-esque in week 1. It may be he's producing medium to high end running back 2 numbers in weeks 1, 2, and 3, and then we get Chase Brown explosion value in week 4. But we get better weeks 1, 2, and 3 than Chase Brown. It just might not be running back 1. It might be. We don't know. It could be from the jump. He could have a breakaway touchdown run in week 1, even on lower volume, and they're like, we got to give the kid the ball, and then it all works out. He could be used sparingly. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if one of Hendy, Hampton, Harvey, Hunter, Genty, one of the 4 horsemen or HHH and associates.
Call HHH
Egbuka.
and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
Let's be honest, though.
Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Imagining Egbuka not exploding week 1 is pretty hard to imagine. But one of these monsters of Triple H and Associates maybe doesn't explode in week 1. Or one of the 4 horsemen doesn't have a big week 1. Panic will ensue. Panic will ensue like nothing we've ever seen. It happens every year, and it's worse sometimes every year. And there will be so much buy low opportunity. We are going to take advantage. 1,000 of you in the YouTube show right now, please hit that subscribe button. If you're new, you found your new home. I'm live every single day, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single weekday, I'm live doing a news show. This is a news show. I'm live every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. I'm live additionally whenever big news breaks, and I'm live every single midnight practically Eastern to draft with you, which means that we probably go live again tonight to draft. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into more of the news. So we've got Harvey, we've got Croskey-Merritt, just marvelous situations to be a part of right now from a fantasy perspective. I'm sure there's even negativity in the chat on these guys. It's hilarious. It's let people be what they want to be. They help us. We owe them. We need the negative Noahs and upset Ungers to drive and keep that ADP down and at bay as much as possible. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby are listed as co-starters on the Jaguars depth chart. This is one of those things where, again, these unofficial depth charts, they're telling and then they're not telling. In some cases, they're very telling. In this particular case, this feels more impactful than, let's say, an RJ Harvey, number 2, listed on the depth chart because Sean Payton's playing his depth chart a certain way, and they're unofficial right now. And Andy was just number 4, like not too long ago, so it's a quick climb. Obviously, the first one meant nothing because he's number 2. So it might be nothing as well. He might be listed as number 1 in week 2 or week 3 or week 4. We don't know when, but it doesn't really even matter because, again, he's super efficient, and as long as he's getting 50% of the work, we don't care because that's they're co-sharing it. Right now, JK and Harvey are doing what ETN and Bigsby are doing. Let's be real. And they're co-sharing the number 1 role. And just because the Jaguars list it differently than the Broncos doesn't mean anything. You got to be able to read through that. You got to read through the tea leaves and read through the noise. And if you can't, I'll do it for you, but you got to at least listen to me. Now, Travis Etienne and Bigsby sharing this role is important because it means that Bigsby's still probably the better bet to produce like the Bucky of this, at least initial first part of the season, because he fits that skill set better than anybody, but maybe Tootin. But Tootin's got to hold on to the ball. Tootin didn't play with the starters at all during the preseason. He wasn't on the field with the starters at all. So Tootin definitely is not ready. He's not ripe. He's completely way far away from any sort of, resemblance of the number one running back on the roster. ETN comes with the experience, with the team and the offense. Even though it's a new offense, it's a new scheme, he still brings a lot of value to the table. But this is more of the Rachaad White aspect of this running attack. And while Rachaad White's not really that relevant now, it's now Sean Tucker and all Bucky Irving. Remember that Cohen was the one that would use Rachaad White. So Cohen's going to, now that he's in Jacksonville, going to probably use ETN quite a bit as that third down player. And he's going to need his Bucky Irving. His Bucky Irving probably is Tank Bigsby. Now, Bigsby was the focal point. Let me repeat this because this is very important. He wasn't getting a lot of work. He was, according to everybody that we heard speak on this, Bigsby was the focal point of the run game. Everything went through Tank Bigsby. He was the number one option on the field whenever they were out there with the starters, and he was the focal point. That was the word that was constantly used. That the offense, the run game went through Tank Bigsby all camp long. So all of a sudden, week 1 of the preseason, or week 2 was it, where this guy goes out there, ETN, and he starts, and it's like, oh, what's going on now? Why is ETN listed as a starter? Is it trade bait? Is it trying to get rid of ETN and make sure teams know he's valuable enough to be our starter? We don't want to just bury him on the depth chart and say, hey, you want our backup. They want to say to a team, hey, you want our co-starter. He's co-starting. Now, are they going to make an early season trade? Maybe, maybe not. If he doesn't produce, he'll be harder to trade. So it's kind of a catch-22. Do you just get your best players out on the field? If you want to get rid of him, you clearly don't view him as the best player. So you kind of shoot yourself in the foot by not using him. And if he's good enough to keep using, then you need to keep him. It's hard to say. It depends on the development of Tootin. If Tootin starts to come along in the wings, waiting, then they might make a move on trading ETN to Chicago, to the Houston Texans. These are two teams that probably need a running back. I think Woody Marks has a shot at being really good. But at the end of the day, Travis Etienne is both a trade piece and a very functional part of the pass attack. And he comes with a lot of experience catching football. So don't think for a second that Tank Bigsby is not getting a big opportunity during these games between the 20s as he runs and marches his football team down the field and trying to get into the red zone. So if I had to guess right now, Tank Bigsby's the running back to own quietly under the radar over ETN, but don't discount ETN's capability in terms of PPR and them both being pretty successful. But I think the takeaway here is that Bigsby's value didn't tank, and he's, no pun intended, Tank is waiting and fermenting and cultivating, and people that were patient on the Tootin Tank Bigsby cuff, maybe they didn't get ETN, they might be still very much rewarded. So don't give up on Tank Bigsby, who had some good news today by being anointed the co-starter. Hunter Renfrow, this is kind of an interesting piece of information. Hunter Renfrow, who's now a Panther wide receiver, is listed as the starter on the unofficial week 1 depth chart. Coker is going to be out several weeks, maybe way more than a month of football. So Hunter Renfrow becomes kind of a relevant option. I don't know that I would pick him up or anything. It's just he's definitely somebody that could put a damper on Leggett or other players on this roster, but we'll see what happens. I still like that kid Horn a lot. Jackson Dart listed as the number 2 quarterback. This is actually huge news because he's a heartbeat away from the lineup. And if there's something that I know for certain, other than that the sun will rise tomorrow, at least tomorrow, Jackson Dart will start games for the Giants in 2025. That I have no doubt. So in Superflex leagues, he's a great ad right now for any reason he's out there. Gabe Davis signed with the Buffalo Bills. This is a nothing burger. He's not even ready to play football. He's still rehabbing a knee injury, a pretty bad meniscus tear, and there's a good chance we don't see him for quite a while. And even when he comes back, will he just get re-injured? Meniscus tears are horrible, and he's always struggled to stay consistent. He had a horrible season last year, and then the injury. So that's a nothing burger. Does nothing but lower the value of Keon Coleman, which is fantastic because Coleman is still a very, very viable fantasy football option, and now he's even cheaper. Caleb Johnson listed behind Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell on the team's official depth chart. This says, look, you could say, Smitty, everything you just said, I got to use and apply here, right? No, because the standards have changed and the different parts of this story are different than the different parts of the Jaguar story or the different parts of the Broncos story. Caleb Johnson, while talented, lives in one of the worst environments for a running back, period. And for some reason, people want it to be a great situation. It's not a great situation. Number one, Aaron Rodgers completely neutered the value of Breece Hall. Aaron Rodgers is going to slow down the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, if you can even do that, into an even more vanilla and very slow-moving team. This is going to be like one drive, and all of a sudden the quarter's over. And Aaron Rodgers is not going to move fast. The offense isn't going to be ultra-electric. It's run by Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith doesn't know who his starting running backs are. Arthur Smith had Bijan Robinson as his third on the depth chart for his goal line running backs when he was in Atlanta. Didn't realize he had probably the best goal line running back in the National Football League on his roster. You think Arthur Smith's going to make good decisions when it comes to Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren, who just got extended, by the way, and he didn't need to get extended. The team could have addressed this in the offseason, but they thought it was important now to give a guy that they anointed the starter before the NFL draft anyway. They anointed Jaylen Warren the starter. They said it's finally going to be his opportunity. Then they draft Caleb Johnson, and everybody thinks and just assumes that Jaylen Warren is done. He's done for. He's done so. Not the case. Getting an extension was a huge blow to the Caleb Johnson train. And that train came to a halt, even semi-derailed. And then you've got the depth chart news that hits different than it does with a player like RJ Harvey, who's got nothing but positive things being talked about with his situation. You got to read between the lines. Now, I'm not saying there's in a world where Jaylen Warren goes and gets hurt. He's never been a starter. So Jaylen Warren could go out there, try and prove himself, runs too hard, runs like Pacheco, gets hurt, and then now Caleb Johnson is the only show in town, and then he gets an opportunity and does well. It's certainly the play, if you're going to look at this from a positive angle at all, and say this is a handcuff. He's not a starter. If you drafted Caleb Johnson as a starter, then I'm sorry, but I told you. This is a handcuff. And if Jaylen Warren or the entire room gets injured, then he will have an opportunity. And then he'll be valuable, but you need to have him at that cost of entry. And some of you don't. So Caleb Johnson, not good news today. But still a very good handcuff. Devontae Smith, I've been talking about Devontae Smith the last handful of days lately and really love Devontae Smith right now. I'm really starting to feel like this is one of those deep sleeper or middle-range sleepers, middle-range sleepers that is going way too late. He's kind of quietly always had wide receiver one capability, but has lived in a situation that can't really feed him that kind of volume. But Devontae Smith, especially if A.J. Brown, hamstrings, knee surgeries year in and year out, can't stay healthy, Devontae Smith might really turn a page and become at some point the number one on the roster. And that transition could happen at any time anyway because A.J. Brown is getting older and the injuries will pile up on him. And the hamstring is a concern. I know he's off the injury report, but keep in mind that that's one of those, he's off the injury report, but will show up again on Monday or Tuesday on the injury report with the hamstring. And then he'll get taken off the injury report entirely. And then on the next Tuesday, he shows up on the injury report with the hamstring again. Thus, the injury report meaning nothing. Sirianni's injury report, the Eagles' injury report, is one of the biggest fake news injury report we've ever seen. Sirianni doesn't tell you about injuries. Sirianni's not honest about injuries. And Devontae Smith is in a prime position to be able to return so much value to you at the cost of entry, whether it be via a trade right now and a buy low, or whether it be you drafted this kid and everybody just kept ignoring him, and you took him probably like I did in one draft. I'm being honest. I took him because I had to. And the more I think about this kid the last handful of days and really week, I'm really starting to believe what this reporter that just wrote this, by the way, this isn't anything that influenced me. But when I saw this, I'm like, I feel this way. That this reporter said that he can be near his 2022 totals, his 95 catches, 11, 96, and 7 touchdowns, which put him in the top 10-ish wide receivers in the National Football League from a fantasy perspective. And I think that while it might be hard-pressed to get inside the top 10, this might be wide receiver 12, 13, 14 on the season. And he might come out of 2025 as one of the most, in hindsight, undervalued wide receivers in fantasy. And he truly kind of held wide receiver 1 value really quietly. So I love this kid right now. Raiders, I don't know what you're saying, but you got automatically held in a spam queue for what you're typing, and you got to be careful because you'll end up getting blocked, and then I won't know it, and you'll never return, and we're not going to know what's going on with you saying weird things in the chat like that. All right, Devontae Smith, go buy him low. If you're doing a trade right now where you're downgrading, let's say a Henry into a Genty, a Christian McCaffrey into a Genty, a Christian McCaffrey into Bucky, and I'm probably gonna give a lot of you this advice tonight because I think getting Devontae Smith in a downgrade might be the winning move for some of you. This might be a league winning move in 2025. Almost done with the news. Then over to the super chats. Stephon Diggs will play week 1, so there's thought he would miss part of the season. The beginning part at one point during the offseason, then it started to trend in the right direction. It looks like it's continued to trend. We got 1,200 people in the building from YouTube. Please hit that thumb up button and please subscribe if you're new. You found your new everyday news show at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night drafting with you on Underdog. And we'll draft tonight on Underdog most likely. Promo code Smitty. Please smash that link that's in the live chat. I'm going to pin the link right now. I'm going to drop the link, then pin it. Underdog, promo code Smitty. There's an awesome Gimme Barkley pick that they give you if you sign up right now where it's 0 yards. He just has to get 1 yard. So do the over on the 0 yards. Smash it. We'll be drafting tonight. And on that note, real quickly, this is crazy. This is on Underdog right now. Look at these hires. $5 entry gets you $1,257. $1,200 on a $5 entry. Derrick Henry, touchdown, rushing or receiving. Puka Nacua, 5.5 receptions higher. Travis Hunter, 9.45 fantasy points higher. Ashton Genty, 70.5 rushing yards. Brock Bowers, 64.5 receiving yards. Trey Henderson, 39.5 rushing yards. Emeka Egbuka, double E squared, 57.5 receiving yards. And Ollie Gordon, which this is like a 3 times multiplier that you throw onto this. Ollie Gordon, 1 touchdown. If he gets 1 touchdown rushing, this multiplies by 3.75. This right here, $5 pays $12.57. I wasn't done there though. I wasn't done there. Smitty did something. Smitty did something. Smitty's trying to get a little pizza party. So we say pizza party when we talk about these amazing, teams that we draft trying to win the big money. And Smitty throwing a pizza party for everybody. Look at this one. $80 pays $37,000. $37,600. $80 on this one. George Pickens, 54 yards is what he needs. Marion Hampton needs 46 yards rushing. Tyler Warren needs 36 yards receiving. Ollie Gordon needs that rushing touchdown. A $500 from BBQ. Holy smokes. Hold on a second. BBQ dropping a $500 wad. This is, look, I haven't even hit the weight yet. I'm almost there, BBQ, but BBQ dropped it early. Most unique fantasy show and experience in the industry. Not sure if you met the challenge. Either way, I'm all in on the show and community. I only ask one favor. You pick 5. I pick 5 in the community to make a prediction. I'm nominating New Age, Caps, Vader, Raiders, Freedom Guy, and Smitty number 1. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Travis. Good luck to the best community. So we're dropping we're dropping 1 prediction each. You pick 5. I pick 5 in the community to make a prediction. Okay. Oh, up here on this board. I got you. Okay. Yes, we'll definitely do that. But BBQ dropping the 500 wad. BBQ, you also get a emoji, by the way. Or an emoji. I'm sorry. You have an emoji. You also get a video with this one, of course. So you let me know what video you want to be on. A couple of videos you want to be on, whatever. And we'll make that happen. Anybody that drops a $100 hauler gets to put their name on any video they want as a sponsor of the video. And then all year long, we play that video. And if it's, let's say, the Triple H and Associates, like this one right here, then you're going to see your name.
HH and Associates.
You're going to see your name all year long.
Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Let's go real quickly back to this screen and just say that BBQ, appreciate you. You've been an amazing addition to this channel. And you're cooking, we're all cooking. Do it live.
Let him cook.
I will say, on the challenge front, I have lost a ton of weight. We have a challenge. The challenge ends on Thursday, but don't let it not carry you on. Like if you've missed out on the challenge, all you got to do is set a challenge now, 2-day challenge, and try and meet that goal and then carry it on. The challenge was that I get down to 200 pounds, 199.9, 200 pounds, at least 200 flat even. BBQ said he was going to drop a $500 super chat if I got there. I'm at 202, 203. I was going to put on a bunch of sweatpants and sweat it out and then get on the scale and run 3 times the next 2 days to try and drop the extra 2 lbs, maybe fast a little bit. BBQ dropped it early. I'm still going to try and get to that 200-pound goal. I'm at 202, 202 and a half. But everybody, I encourage you to set a goal, set a challenge. I feel like I dropped a lot of lbs. The profile looks better. I feel better. I've never felt better, honestly. The biggest thing I've done is I've used the core board a lot, and you guys tell them I sent you. Actually, you can use code Smitty, and the core board will be, I believe it's 10% off using the code Smitty at stoicinnovations.com. Link might be in the description. Let me see if I can. Let me drop this in the chat here. But Stoic Innovations, I've been using the core board. No pressure on anybody getting this, but use code Smitty to get that discount. But here's the link to that. That should be the link. Not only have I used that, but I've also just stopped drinking soda, which was a big helper. And then I've run every day. And what I do is I do 10 burpees in a row, and do 2 push-ups with the burpee. And then I run down about a fifth of a mile, roughly about a fifth of a mile down and back really fast. And then when I get down, my rest is burpees. And then when I'm running, my rest of burpees is running, and I don't stop. It's intervals. And I do a mile of that. So I do a mile of running and burpees in between. And it's just literally dropped. Like LB's been dripping off. I used to walk 12,000, 14,000 steps a day, and doing this interval stuff takes 22 minutes. And I've been dripping off the weight, and stopped drinking Coke helped. But that little routine's way better than riding the bike for 2 hours. I was walking for an hour and a half. I was running, walk running, and I got like tendonitis in my shins and feet by walking too much, and I couldn't even run anymore, so I had to just walk. Anyway, BBQ, appreciate you. We'll do the predictions here in a little bit once I get through the super chats. BBQ with the $500 hauler. What a monster. BBQ, one more round.
Mashed potatoes.
All right, let's get to this last piece of news and then over to the super chats, and then we'll take some phone calls. A.O. Manor is the wide receiver, starting wide receiver 2 across Ridley. And that's a really, really nice player to grab as well. If you're in a dynasty league and he's still there, you may want to jump all over the A.O. Manor. A.O. Manor, they call him A.O. Manor or whatever. There's different ways to pronounce his name. I'm sure he'll tell us about 3 years later how to really say it, just like Bajan did. But A.O. Manor, go grab this kid if he's available in your draft. He's the number 2 wide receiver, and he's super ultra talented. And if Ridley fails, he will explode. If Ridley doesn't fail, he probably still will, do very well. But A.O. Manor is a guy that you want to grab, and it's great news for him. And I really like the kid a lot. Gabe Davis again, nothing burger. He's not even going to be ready for a while. But let me go back to this contest here, which is $80 pays $37,000 if I land this, which is insane when you think about it. $80 pays $37. This would be the pizza party of a lifetime. Bucky over 70 yards rushing. Genty has to get 70 yards rushing. Trevion Henderson has to get 40. Egbuka needs 58. Ollie Gordon needs to score 1 rushing touchdown. Tyler Warren needs 36 yards. Hampton needs 46 yards rushing. And George Pickens needs 54 yards receiving. If I land these right here, $80 will pay me $37,000. If anybody wants to tail these or even some of them, get on over to the Underdog app. That link is in the description of the video. Let me see if I can drop it one more time and I'll pin it. I missed pinning it last time. Let me see if I can drop that. Hold on. Let me copy it, put it in the chat. So if anybody wants to partake in these hires, they're absolutely amazing over on Underdog. There's the link right there. And let me link this. Okay, here we go. Smitty, are we worried about Trevion Henderson? I hope you're serious. I really do hope you're serious. I think you are. You're probably trolling, but if you're serious, I hope there's a lot of you. I hope you have brothers and they play fantasy football. I really do. Thank you for subscribing. I see the subscribe numbers going up as we speak. We're gaining like 100 to 150 subscribers a day right now, which is unreal. So please continue to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. It's the only way you're going to know whether we're live. So appreciate you. And BBQ to the mother freaking moon. Let's go through these super chats, shall we? And hammer these out. Let me throw all the $20 haulers on screen. The $20 haulers get immediate attention. It's just the nature of the super chat world. I appreciate every single one of you guys. This one's from Miles. Miles dropping a $20 hauler. This one's from Michael dropping a $20 hauler. Appreciate you. We're going to do one joint bunk bed celebration of standing ovation for these 20s, just so we can roll through these as quickly as we can. But God, I appreciate all of you dropping these 20s. And then another 20 from DMO, and then BBQ dropping that 5 bill was just crazy, just insanity, just straight insanity. So BBQ, thank you again for that $500 hauler. What a monster BBQ is. He's got his own emoji for a reason. We don't give those out lightly. Ron Navy's got one. New Age Outlaws got out one. Is New Age in the building? Thank you to New Age. He's been dropping stuff constantly as well. Thank you, New Age. Thank you, BBQ. Appreciate you guys so much. Dallas 89, appreciate you dropping that $20 hauler. Genty question. We've got this one from Pedro. Pedro, appreciate your $20 hauler. You absolute magnificent monster, you. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know, the new nickname for Ollie Gordon is the Chupacabra. Okay? You make sure to tell everybody. And let's see if we can spread this around. We want to hear this come from other sources. We're the ones making this up. I don't want anybody to be confused about that. No one's used it. No one's talked about it. Nobody even knows what the Chupacabra is. Chupacabra is a monster in a Mexican folktale. The kids are told this when they're kids, that the Chupacabra will come and get you if you don't listen to your parents. The Chupacabra is a monster, and it's a scary looking monster. Look it up. Put it in Google and check it out. But the Chupacabra is a monster, and that's what Ollie Gordon is. And Ollie Gordon's coming for the NFL. Ollie Gordon is coming for defenses, and he's going to take the defenses by storm. And so we're going to push this name until we hear it repeated back to us by places we know did not create it. So Chupacabra season is in full effect. Pedro is in full effect as well with his $20 hauler. Mahomes, wide receivers Pickens, Egbuka, Ridley, Rice, Debo. Running backs are Gibbs, Genty, Achane, Hampton, Henderson, Gordon. Love the team. McBride, 1 QB, 2 wide receivers. Rate my team. Your team's fantastic, bro. I mean, it truly is. The only thing I would even be contemplating is not getting rid of them running backs. I don't know if you can start all those guys, though. You can't, right? One flex and a flex. So you got to pick between Genty, Gibbs, Achane, then Hampton, Henderson, and Gordon. I'm trying to move one of those RBs. Probably Hampton. And don't move Gordon because he doesn't have the value yet. Hampton and Ridley, Hampton, and I don't know if I move Debo, Rice, or Buka, though. So Hampton and Ridley or Pickens for a top 4 wide receiver. You need to go get JJ. Hampton and Ridley for Neighbors, for maybe BTJ. If you do Pickens, you need Neighbors or JJ. You do. You just plain and simple. If you do Ridley and Hampton, you could probably reach for a BTJ or a London and be fine and not be overpaying. Your team, that's all you need. You do that and you're like a 9.5, which I don't think I've ever given out. Unbelievable squad. Love the team. Not a thing you need to do other than that. You could just sit back and let Hampton gain value, let Ridley gain value, and you're fine. You're not even going to lose anything. Even if you miscalculate that, you're still going to be able to trade later on. Genty, Hendy, Pacheco, Ollie, Harvey, Judkins, Sampson, Neighbors, Debo, Judy, Higgins. Any suggestions? Love the team. Thank you for the $20 holler, Dallas. Appreciate you. I would probably say you're on hold mode with your quarterback, your 2 running backs. Pacheco, you're not going to get much for trade. Ollie Gordon, you got to wait. Harvey, got to wait. The moment Judkins signs, I'm trading him. As I've said all offseason long, to trade him. I just think the value is going to be good, and you don't know what's in store. It's still not potentially a situation that we think it is. I would probably say I'm trying to get rid of Higgins. I don't think that's T Higgins though. It's probably Jaden. I'd probably say Judy and Judkins for one better wide receiver. That's what my goal is. You're talking London. You're talking, a potential Lad McConkey even, I think. And one could argue Judy's, as good if you wanted, but I would rather have Lad or higher. So I'd shoot for a Lad or higher. That's the only move to make. That team is phenomenal. I'm not moving any other pieces. And congratulations, you're an 8.0 out of 10 automatically. You make that move, you're an 8.5. Had my home league draft Bo, Saquon, Kamara, Buka, Jamo, Pickens, Kittle, Ollie, Mason. Love the team. If it's me, I'm probably, if you want to hang with Saquon, I get it. That's your boy. It's fine. Kamara. I'm trying to move Kamara and Pickens for one bigger, stronger, better running back. And while JJM as your quarterback. Okay, so Jamo, Puka. Yeah, you could get rid of Kamara and a wide receiver potentially, or just Kamara and Kamara and Mason or something like that. Kamara, you start Puka, you start Buka, you start Jamo, you trade Pickens, maybe Pickens or Jamo, start either one. Trade one of them with Kamara to go get a Genty-type monster to set right next to Saquon. Bucky works, H-N works, any one of those 3 RBs works. That's what I'm doing with that team. Thank you for the $20 holler. You are an 8.0. $19.99 here from Eddie. I'm not just giving the $20 hollers 8s. I don't hand out 8s very much, but you guys are drafting off the blueprint, so what can I do? They're amazing teams. 12-man PPR, 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. You can start 4 wide receivers or 3 running backs, right? So Purdy, I get rid of Purdy. Lamb, Rice, Buka, Diggs, Tesla, Thornton, Palmer. Kind of thin. 12-man, I got to admit, it's kind of thin having Palmer in your lineup. Palmer in your lineup is very, very rough. Diggs and Tesla and Thornton all in your lineup. This can't be your lineup. Running backs are H-N, Hampton, K9. So H-N and Hampton are off the hook. K9, I'm probably trading to get that wide receiver room upgraded if you're starting. These probably aren't your starters. You got Lamb, Rice, Igbuka. I'm sorry. I thought Diggs and Tesla were in starting spots. Lamb and Rice. For some reason, I didn't see Lamb and Rice right here. I don't know what I was saying visually. Purdy, Lamb, Rice. So Lamb, Rice, Buka, Diggs, Tesla, Thornton, Palmer. I'm sorry. I thought you were giving me your lineup. My fault. Great team. Lamb, Rice, Igbuka, fantastic trio. Rice goes to the bench for now. I understand you're going to have a hole there. Tesla fills that third, fourth wide receiver spot just fine. Your running backs are insanely good at HN Hampton, given those wide receivers. K9 and probably, I'm not trading Bowers though. Warren might be a trade piece later. Let Warren do some damage and then trade him. Don't trade him now. Hampton, you could upgrade Hampton using Warren maybe later. And I love Hampton, but am I getting a Bucky or an HN or a Genty? Absolutely. You got Achane already, but Genty or Bucky, sure. So Hampton and Warren probably gets you that later. K9 and Hampton might get you that later. Do I shop K9 now? Probably. And you could just go straight across. Running backs are such a need for teams. You could literally get that wide receiver replacement for Rice right now using K9. Try Worthy. Worthy and Rice will complement each other. Try JSN. Try MHJ for K9. Try, throwing in potentially a Braylon Allen. Try throwing in a Diggs. Thank you for that super chat, and I'm sorry about misreading your team. Lamb and Rice and Buka make that team a freaking easily an 8.0, so nice work. Hey, Smitty, Harvey or Hunter in the flex? I'd probably say Hunter right now. My starting running backs are Gibbs and Hendo. My starting wide receivers are London and JSN, as they should be. I would say Hunter is the lean for right now, but barely. Hey, Smitty, rate my team. Joey B, Trey Henderson, Tracy, St. Brown, BT, Loveland, flexes, Tyreek Hill, Ollie Gordon, bench. Not much on the bench to move. I don't think you can maybe even make a trade. I would try and trade Tyreek Hill personally, but I don't know if you're going to get what you want. I'd rather have MHJ. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have a handful of players, Lab McConkey. Your saving grace later will either be Ollie Gordon goes into your lineup, and I might even, guys, are you starting Ollie Gordon or Tracy in week 1? Am I crazy for thinking that this is a no-brainer Ollie Gordon, or am I just expecting the world and I might get disappointed? My little heart might get broken by trusting the Chupacabra. Are we going Chupacabra or are we going with Tracy? I mean, I don't know about you, but what sounds meaner? Are you scared of Tracy? Are you scared of Tracy or are you scared of the Chupacabra? Because right now I'm kind of thinking the Chupacabra sounds a little bit scarier. Everyone's saying Tracy. I don't know about that. I got a Tracy LOL. Why? Why is Tracy the guarantee? I'm going Chupacabra. That's my advice, Miles. And I think you're in a holding pattern right now. And the Chupacabra might be good enough running back too for you that you don't even need to make a trade. But St. Brown and BTJ, I'm trying to get rid of Tyreek Hill. Honestly, I could very much roll the dice and trade Tracy and Tyreek Hill for one better wide receiver. In fact, that's what I would do if I were you. Get rid of Tracy, maybe even after week 1 if Tracy does have a good game. But I certainly trust Ollie Gordon. I do. The Chupacabra for me. Drop a Jacoby for Egbuka in waivers. Stop, Hitman. Just stop, bro. I applaud you for trolling me in a super chat, but just stop. Trade Kenneth Walker, Debo for Harvey and Wilson. Trade Kenneth Walker, Debo for Harvey and Wilson. I'd rather have Harvey and Wilson. I don't trust Walker. Unless you got Sharbs, then, you're giving Sharbs away or whatever. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson and Harvey. But, Debo makes that tough because I want to say Debo. Ollie Gordon or Evan Ingram this week. I'd probably say Evan Ingram is a safer move, but it doesn't mean that you won't regret that. Love Ollie Gordon this week. The Chupacabra is somebody that I think is going to definitely punch a run in the end zone. Rami says, my bad, Smitty, autocorrect to Penix Jr. Okay, I'll look for whatever you were saying here. Yeah, maybe I won't put it on screen depending on what you put. 14-man Lamar. Okay, I see what happened there. Maybe that's what what's his face was repeating, but I'll leave it off screen. But Lamar, Penix Jr., Chase Brown, Trey Hendo, Sharbs, Ollie, Tank, Travis Hunter, Egbuka, Debo, Sharbs. Love the team. Love the squad. 14-man is tough to get Trey Henderson, Charbonnet, and Chase Brown and still have Travis Hunter and Egbuka and Debo, bro. I don't even think you make a move, by the way. You have an 8.0 in a 14-man league. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, my boy, for dropping that super chat. And there's nothing you do on a 14 team. It's hard to trade in a 14 team. let alone, move monsters like that. Like, what are you going to get? I'd rather, those are all, buy lows for me. So you can't sell them high. Drop ETN for Ollie. I have Bucky and Kyron. There's got to be a better drop, or trade ETN to the Tank Bigsby owner and get something. Get fab dollars, trade it for all their fab money, or $50. Getting that extra fab money might actually win you the league, because then you can drop let's say it's $100, right? That everybody has. If you get even $20 from them, you're gonna have a $101 drop at any moment you want to do a full load drop and win your league. Full load drops can win leagues. So 100% try and get rid of them. But yes, I would rather have Ollie. I love the RC car, bro. Just looking at that RC car in your profile photo just reminds me of being a kid. The smell of those tires, the smell of the battery getting hot, and just, man, I love the controller, the feel of the controller in my hand. Man, I love that time in my life. That just what a weird memory you just triggered. Love the RC car, my boy. Young, appreciate you. Tootin or Brashard Smith. For holding on my roster, I'd probably say Tootin long-term, Brashard Smith, maybe a mix of now and long-term, because I think they may use him with Rushy Rice out for 6 games, but I love both of them. The answer is both of them. I don't think you can put me in a box to want to cut one of those guys. Trevion is listed as the 3rd-string running back today. Good. Yeah, I know, Kevin, you don't care. You're just making note of it, but yeah. That one is that one's not even like a one worth mentioning. But yeah, if anybody's actually taking any of the depth chart stuff seriously, very, very excited about that. Drop 1 PPR: Sharps, Jennings, Godwin, Egbuka. Also, why are we listing Egbuka in a drop? Why is that even a conversation? Jennings, you're not keeping Juwan Jennings. Well, actually, Godwin you could cut. I'd probably rather have Godwin than Juwan Jennings, I think. Yeah, I'd probably drop Juwan Jennings, but you're not dropping Sharps, you're not dropping Egbuka. Why are they in this conversation? And also trade Sharps for Ollie Gordon. Don't have either H-Hander. That one's tough. I'd almost say try and trade something else for Ollie. I don't want to get rid of Charbonnet either. Charbonnet's a league motherfreaking winner, bro. An absolute league winner. So, you're going to make a grave mistake, I think, getting rid of either one of those guys or those opportunities. Don't trade Sharps. Burden, Tesla, A.M. Minor equal pick 2 in the keeper league. Pick 2 in a keeper league. I'm leaning Burden and A.M. Minor. Probably say, man, that's tough. I'd probably say Tesla and Burden if I had to pick, but I want all 3. Trust your gut because it's so close, my boy. I don't think that you're wrong by picking A.O. Manor over like Tesla, and Tesla is capped a little bit given that he's got St. Brown there, given that he's got and Panthers. I got your super chat right here. Mr. Frost, I got your super chat right here. I think there's more of an opportunity, obviously, for A.O. Manor to get the starting 1 job with his team, and Tesla is like the 3rd option and can't even climb higher than that for anytime soon. So I guess I'm okay with that from a dynasty perspective. And it makes sense, breaking it down like that. But I just think Tesla is such a dog. Would you trade Tesla for Wan'Dale Robinson? If I like losing Panthers, I probably would. If I like winning, I think I'll keep Tesla. I don't think Wan'Dale should be on this conversation. But, I mean, it is what it is, my boy. But the answer is no. It would not. I like winning. Start Hunter or Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go probably Garrett. Trade JCM for Ollie. I would definitely trade JCM for Ollie Gordon. That's not a knock on JCM's value today on any of that. It's just in general, Ollie Gordon's a league winner. I mean, JCM's not a supernova. Ollie Gordon's a supernova. If anybody hasn't seen that, here we go.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas. I'm looking
at the 8. Actually, it's 12. Actually, it's 13. The magnificent 13. 13.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Shuttle has cleared the tower. I don't know if you guys caught this that I put up on screen, but this is wild, man. I wish we had a lot of Marks in our drafts in our leagues. Mark, I might have an invite for you. I might bump somebody out of all my leagues and put Mark in every single one of my leagues. Chase Brown's is straight trash. I don't even know where you would come up with something like that, Mark.
Chase Brown. Oh yeah. Chase Brown. Touchdown. You hear that sound? It's Chase Brown. Chase Brown.
Chat, what are we doing here? Garrett Wilson or Hunter? Can we get a vote on that right now? A fresh vote. Garrett Wilson, Hunter. Garrett Wilson, Hunter. Please vote in the chat. I guess safety, I would lean Garrett Wilson, but part of me wants to say Travis Hunter, bro. I would hate for you to be like, oh, he has 40 yards, and now you hate Travis Hunter. Then you sit him in week 2, and then he goes nuts in week 2, and then you're playing this little song and dance. But, Garrett Wilson's got a tougher matchup for sure. But he's just safer. Is there another way to go? I don't know. We got a couple Hunter votes. I'd probably swing with Hunter personally, and I've got that situation, and I'm more eager to start Hunter, but I'm risking the biscuit. I like a little bit of that risk, and up for the upside. So week 1, Connor or Walker, and Penix or Kyler. I go Penix Jr., and I'd probably go Connor in week 1. I mean, Connor's finished the year. He always is such a dangerous player to ignore and doubt. But I think, doubting him season long is understandable because he's always gotten hurt except for last year, and he's older, and they're going to give way a little bit to Benson carries this year. Start Hunter or Garrett Wilson. Oh, I already did that one. Thank you. Appreciate your super chat, my boy. We got a couple $20 haulers. We got one from 611 dropping the wad on screen. We got another one from Luke. Luke, thank you for the $20 hauler. We got another one from Roasted, $20 hauler. And I don't know if I gave my original $20 haulers when I put them on screen a standing ovation. So let's do it all bunk bed style in one setting right here. William with a $20 hauler. William, you straight up monster, you. Thank you all for the $20 haulers. All of you are cooking. All of you are cooking.
Let him cook.
Thank you so much for those 20 wads. And we got another one from Dre. Dre dropping a $20 hauler on screen. Dre, can't thank you enough for getting involved in that. $20 haulers goes straight to the front of the line. This one from a spot, though, that I was going to answer a second ago, said 12 PPR flex Pickens, Igbuka, Tracy. You're gonna pick Igbuka, I think. Probably Pickens, I guess, is the safer move, and then Igbuka is the higher risk, higher reward. But I mean, damn, Pickens is gonna have a day. I'd say Pickens is safer, but Buka's higher risk, higher reward. So pick your poison. Like, do you need some big swing? Then maybe Buka's your pick for the matchup. But damn, man, how do you sit Pickens? Pickens is gonna ball all of your sharps week 1. Probably go. We're waiting on the news on that, but probably Ollie's safe for the touchdown. I think Sharps is probably a decent play. But what if Walker plays more than we think? I don't know. Right now, I'm leaning toward Sharps, but I want Ollie in there. I really do. And then there's this one I was going to put up before I went to these 20s. Igbuka, Dunze, or Harvey in the flex. Igbuka for me. Thank you for those questions. Dre, thank you for the $20 hauler. Thank you. I'll put Dre's right here because he was last of these $20 haulers. Smitty, I traded a Marion Hampton and Waddle. I like some of these like trade questions. I'm not saying you can't post your full team eval, but it is nice to get a little bit of a variety here when I get a trade question or a bigger question like this. I traded a Marion Hampton and Waddle for CeeDee Lamb. Okay, and Marion Hampton and Waddle is a smash of a trade. I hope you don't veto those in your league. Also have Drake London and Genty as my running back 1. Our running back 2 is Hampton, but now is filled by Monty. Okay, so that's a little bit rough, but Ollie might take his spot. You know, Monty's okay. He's decent. Ollie you could even start this week if you want to roll the dice, but Monty's also a good play, a safe play. 10-team non-PPR 2 QB. Nice trade, though. That was a fantastic trade. I still would have done it even with the running back situation that you created for yourself. I mean, because Ollie might be the savior. 10-team non-PPR 2 QB, 1 flex. Mahomes, Purdy, Nico, McLaurin, Bijan, Hampton, Njoku, Chuba, Caleb Johnson, Ibuka, Rice, Ollie Gordon, JJ McCarthy, and Jacoby Myers. Okay. Probably say, let's see, Caleb Johnson. I'd probably say I'm not trading Ibuka, not trading Rice, not trading Ollie Gordon. Trading Caleb Johnson, I'd be open to trading Chuba Hubbard. The fact that you have Bijan Hampton and then you've got those running back, Ollie Gordon or Chuba or Caleb, I'd probably trade, if I could Chuba Hubbard and let's call it McLaurin for 1 monster first-round wide receiver. Neighbors, JJ, maybe BTJ. Kind of an overpay for BTJ, actually, unless you're to get a second piece back. But I would say Chuba and McLaurin for a JJ, Neighbors, or above. And if you can't get that, then just go Caleb and McLaurin for that BTJ, London, Lab McConkey-esque player. Past that, I mean, I maybe try and upgrade Purdy using, I mean, honestly, I'd use Chuba. I like Chuba. I'm not saying to get rid of Chuba for pennies on the dollar or anything. I'm just saying you throw Ollie in the lineup instead of Chuba and you can upgrade Purdy into a Mahomes or higher. I like that a lot. Love the team. Thank you for the $20 hauler. 14-man, two running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, tight end. What should I do at QB? Caleb, Hampton, RJ Harvey, Nico, Buka, Ricky Pearsall. I'm trading Pearsall on the high. I think Pearsall maybe with Caleb or Pearsall in general to a team that might have drafted Bo Nix and Mahomes. Really you're kind of beholden to a team that may have drafted two quarterbacks. If there's a team that did, then that's your play. I don't think you're going to just get someone's quarterback. Like no one's trading their Mahomes for Caleb. I don't think. You could try. You can still try. Mahomes and Nix and Penix Jr. is a pretty cheap quarterback to get, and I don't know that you'd have to give up Pretty Ricky to do that. You might be able to give up something else. Honestly, though, I'd probably rather have Adunze than Pretty Ricky. You might be able to give up Burden. You might be able to give up Sampson. You might be able to give up Najee Harris. Although I know you're cuffing him to Hampton, so I'm fine with keeping that. I would say Pearsall. I'd rather have Adunze than Pearsall. I would trade Pearsall and Caleb to upgrade Caleb slightly. Or try and get into something because somebody's got 2 quarterbacks and they're willing to get Pearsall from you. But don't trade Ibuka, don't trade Nico, don't trade Hampton, don't trade RJ Harvey, don't trade Bowers. Sit on Bowers. If later you need to make a move, the Bowers for Tyler Warren and then a monster on top of Tyler Warren, that's a maneuver you can maybe make later. Or Bowers for McBride and trade Pretty Ricky up slightly, or trade your quarterback up slightly by going from Bowers to McBride. Those are moves that I've advised people to make, and I've seen a team look like it didn't miss a beat going from Bowers to McBride and all of a sudden to have this upgrade. 12-man PPR, 4th pick, Lawrence, Higgins, Garrett Wilson, McMillan, Gibbs, Bucky, Loveland, Judy, Hall. Hall's a good trade piece for you. Dropped Ford for Lawrence. Make a trade or drop Rico. Rate my team. I'm fine dropping Rico Dowdle. I could care less about that. Your team looks good. I'm not a huge fan of having Lawrence as my solo QB, but he could also have a great year. In Fields, you got on the bench, so it's not like you don't have an option. But this is a really, strong team. Other than that, I mean, T. Higgins, I probably move. Ted McMillan's got good trade value right now. I just want you to get a bigger wide receiver in that lineup. So something along the lines of maybe Breece Hall, and I love Gibbs and Bucky. Breece Hall and Higgins, T. Higgins, or Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, or Breece Hall and Ted McMillan for that BTJ or higher. Especially like a Neighbors or a JJ or something like that. But Breece Hall and T. Higgins should get you a Neighbors, honestly. So nice team, and I love it. Smitty, new year. Thanks for the $20 holler, bro. This one from Dre. Dre, thank you for the $20 holler as well. Smitty, new year. I had the rookie running back fever, 12-team, 11 pick. Dak, Hampton, Hendy, Harvey, Sharps, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Tootin, BTJ, Nico, Addison, Leggett, McBride. I feel like this is a wait and see, but I'm scared with the latest running back depth charts. You shouldn't be scared by running back depth charts, but yes, things can take time with rookies. Nobody should be compiling their entire team with guys that are trying to prove themselves and could have some slower unveilings. And it's just the nature of these running back by committees that everybody's scared of. That is a staple in the NFL now. But I'm not trading these guys in fear of that. The only thing I'd maybe do, maybe, is if you could maybe get, like, let's say, I don't know. Like if I could trade, let's say, Addison and Hampton to go get a Kyron, like you could try and potentially do that, or a Bucky, or a Genty, or an Achan, and you got Ollie anyway. You could go that route and kind of diversify and hold Harvey and Hendy and still have that situation. Charbonnet later is going to potentially be a savior for you anyway, and you might have a lot of trade value there. I'm not really trying to move much. I love Nico and BTJ. I love the running backs personally. Maybe trading. McBride is somebody I'd only trade if I had concerns about the team and got hit with injury, but I don't think I'm there. I like the squad, bro. I'm not worried about Hampton and Hendy and Sharps and Harvey and Ollie Gordon. Even if you started out kind of slow, let's say you were 3-2, because somehow this took longer than we expected, then, bro, you're going to get firing off on all cylinders once Sharp is in there. You're not going to have a single problem in the world with your running back stable. This is your worst case scenario could play out, and it takes longer than you thought. But we're talking about like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not worried about it at all. That would be your worst case scenario, and I don't even think that's going to happen. Even if the rookies were slow moving, Sharps might be the starter coming out of week 1. Should I drop Judkins for Ollie? You should have already done it. Yes, sir. Definitely should have already done that. And of course, Smitty approved that. I mean, is Judkins on my Supernova list? You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate the question, and you can keep asking, especially on a super chat. I'm not mad at anybody super chatting me a question, but I do find it funny that I get asked these questions about, like, Smitty, so should I pick up Ollie Gordon? Like, I just put him in the best 12 picks, the best 13 picks in fantasy football. Ollie Gordon is one of the top 13 picks in fantasy football. So the answer is probably going to be yes when it's, hey, Smitty, should I cut this scrub? Or, Smitty, do you like, I know we like him, but are we cutting Pat Bryant for him? You like Pat Bryant. I do, but is Pat Bryant on my Nova list? Hey, Smitty, would you rather keep, Rashard Smith or Ollie Gordon? Of course, I want you to keep both, but you are looking at a Nova. Have Ingram, should I drop Strange for Fannin Jr.? I would. I think Fannin Jr., as I've alluded to on the week 1 preemptive waiver wire show, is probably the tight end breakout of the year. So we've talked about him all offseason long. From the beginning, when he was a prospect, not an NFL player, we talked about how he almost had the triple crown. He beat out all the wide receivers in college football. He's a tight end, and he had more yards than anybody in the FBS. He was the number 1 pass catcher in FBS in yards and receptions. He beat out Jeremiah Smith in yards and receptions. He beat out Ted McMillan and Travis Hunter and all the wide receivers in yards and receptions. And he was like top 13-ish in touchdowns. Almost had the Triple Crown. Fannin Jr. is a league winner, and especially a dynasty gem. You know, there's a world where maybe Fannin doesn't get going until late, and he's kind of a disappointment for 10 weeks or something. It's certainly possible. It's the Browns. May or Penix Jr. week 1. Mays may be safer, but I'm going Penix Jr., bro. I think Penix Jr. is going to ball. He's got a cannon. The offense is going to be keeping the defense honest no matter who they play week in and week out. Flex Pickens or Tyrone Tracy for week 1. Pickens by a country mile. Not saying anything can happen, obviously. Thornton, number 1 on the depth chart. This is where it's like the depth chart serves the player well, and that's great for us, right? We're big Thornton people. And then we see like Hendy, not 1. We see JK, number 2. We see, you know, and then you get to the people who are like, well, Smitty, why are you down on Caleb then? And I explained that earlier. But the depth chart madness is crazy. The panic creates opportunity, like I wrote here in this title here. Thornton, number 1. Do it live. Love our boy Thornton. Viral, appreciate you dropping this super chat. BBQ, thanks again, bro. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. Who do you drop? Need a kicker. Penix Jr., I have Dak. Thornton, Tesla, Ray Davis. Probably Thornton or Ray Davis. I'm not dropping Tesla. Although Thornton could be the best receiver out of the two of them. Let's go to the chat on this one, actually. Don't drop them yet. Chat, we got to drop one. I hate this. Make a trade if you can, obviously. Or drop your kicker and buy yourself a couple more hours. Thornton, Tesla, Ray Davis, who are you cutting? I guess I'd cut Ray Davis if you needed wide receivers more than running backs. But if you're never going to use both Tesla and Thornton, you may not even use one of them for a while, then you drop one of the receivers. The chat is kind of leaning Ray Davis. And you could monitor the hell out of Ray Davis, and he's definitely somebody that you want to make sure you watch. Trade Bill for Ollie. Yeah, again, guys, I mean, do you see Bill Croskey-Merritt on my Nova list? You don't. You see Ollie Gordon on my top 13 best picks in fantasy football? You do. You know, so it really just comes down to that simple formula. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get Ollie and grab the kid. Because he's a league winner, absolute league winner. And then the other question here that's a very similar one: Sharbs or Bill? Sharbs. I love Bill Croskey-Merritt, but Sharbs is a league winner. He's a top 5 to 10 running back when he's in the lineup, so that's an easy call as well. Thank you for all the hard work and dedication. You bet, James. I work for you, and we riding together. Let me know thoughts on your team. May, Lawrence, Hendy, Harvey, Benson, Ollie, Chase, McMillan, Hunter, Rice, Addison. Love the team. Love the team, McBride. Warren and McBride's tough because you can only use one. Makes me kind of want to get rid of McBride and just get and I don't say that lightly because you're going to buy somebody that's going to be, you know, second round valuable, right? So if I get a London or a BTJ for McBride, even if I'm giving up something small, you know, like a Addison or, I mean, I'm not saying I just throw an Addison in, but I definitely would say I trust Tyler Warren enough, but maybe you wait. You know, as much as I want to trade McBride and get Warren into the lineup to get another big piece, maybe you just wait a week and let Tyler Warren gain so much value that you keep McBride and trade Tyler Warren. Play the patient game with this lineup. And then I'm always open-minded to trading like McMillan and Benson later if Benson gets into the lineup. And I think it's a patient game for you. If I had to make a move, and I think your team might need something, but that something might come from Tyler Warren in getting traded. But I definitely think it does need something to get into that 8.0 territory. But it's literally, you got the pieces to do it. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate you. 10-team PPR, QB, Pat, Herbert, Gibbs, Jacobs, Hendy, Sharbs, Tootin, Ladd, Worthy, Golden, Kincaid. Can you rate my team? Recommend moves. Thanks. Appreciate you, bro. 10-man league. Pat Mahomes, Gibbs. Hendy. I'm so tired. Your boy's not. I'm not burned out. I'm not worn out. I'm just tired because I'm on little sleep. So I'm yawning a lot, but it doesn't mean I'm falling asleep. I'm just completely exhausted. But that's the way this goes. This week's been a big week, and not only is it I'm tired from the shows, which is not the biggest deal. I do this all the time. There's a lot of other stuff. Like I said, you guys don't see the back end, the rankings, getting the website going, a lot of different things, sponsorship stuff. There's a lot going on this particular week that makes it also tough. This year, 10-team PPR, Pat Mahomes, Gibbs, Jacobs, Hendy. Love the team. I'm trying to trade Jacobs. I like Hendy and Gibbs and Sharps enough that I'm trading Jacobs to get potentially some sort of monster wide receiver upgrade situation going on. Because I'd love to have Ladd and Worthy in my number 2 and 3 spots. Go Golden or Addison with Jacobs for one BTJ London neighbors wide receiver move. Appreciate you. Thank you. That's what I'm focused on with this team. Love the squad. Thank you so much, my boy, for coming in strong with the super chat tonight. This one here from RJ. RJ, thank you. Any moves? Premium League Baker, Mayfield, May, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Aldi Gordon, Adams, Ted McMillan, Hunter, Ibuka, freaking squad. I like the team a lot. I probably would say the wide receivers are good, but what I want to maybe consolidate like Adams and Ted for one bigger wide receiver, sure. Would I maybe try and trade Bigsby off the news today or just wait? Sure. Don't know that there's much you can trade, though, because Hunter's got to gain value. Buka's got to gain value. Ted's got to gain value. People will buy Ted McMillan, though. Adams is unproven to people right now as a potential carry on his top 5 wide receiver potential. Is he too old? Chase Brown and Gibbs, I don't touch. Baker's underrated, so just keep him where he is. You're really waiting. Unless you could trade Ted and Adams for one bigger wide receiver monster. And it'd have to be like BTJ or higher, no lower. And if you can't pull that off, you're waiting on Aldi Gordon. You're waiting on Tootin. You're waiting on Ted to explode. You're waiting on Hunter to explode. You can't do anything unless you can do that. So you got to wait. The team looks good. 7.8 until you make a move or one of your bench players or one of your lineup guys explodes and becomes as good as we think they could become. Then all of a sudden you're in the mix for being a team that I would say is like an 8.0. Team is QB, JD5, Dak, Hendy, K9, Sharps, Eckler, ETN, BTJ, Nico, Debo, Ibuka. Love the team. I'm probably trading either DK or potentially something, probably DK and the K9. I try and keep Sharps. DK and K9 for one slightly better. Well, I guess you could go like Hampton. K9 and DK for like Hampton is something. I would take DK and K9 and turn it into Achan, who's concerning people right now. Bucky, Genty. Hard to imagine getting Genty for K9 and DK, but I think you could maybe get Bucky or Achan. Kyron, maybe. Those would be good moves. And then you say right here that JD5. Guy wants JD5, Hendy, and ETN for his JT, Travis Hunter, and Fields. I'm sure he does. You could tell him to kick rocks and slam the door in his face because that's not a good trade. I would send him this right here.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
Some people just can't help but give bad offers, This one's from Dominic with a $20 holler. Dominic, appreciate your $20 super chat. You straight up monster savage, you. Where's my button when I need it? Where is it at? $20 holler in the building.
Alert. Super chat alert.
One QB. Penix Jr. is your starter, in my opinion. Connor and Jalen Warren, Gordon, Sharps, Mason. Wow, that's a thin running back room, bro. Jeez. It might be okay with Gordon Sharps though. Like, it's crazy when you look at it. You're like, damn, it's a thin room. But is there a possibility of 2 top 12 running backs? You might. Neighbors, Nico, DJ Moore, Sutton, Hunter, McBride. I will say, Dominic, I wish I'm always going to be honest with you guys, even on a $20 super chat. I feel like somebody stole your second rounder or something. I feel like somebody just said, here, start off. Let me take one of your draft picks. You don't get the second round pick. Now go make a team. I just feel like, I don't know, and let's work through what you did, because it might pencil out, but it's almost like there might be some reaches that just make it feel like you're losing a player. Neighbors and Nico, always so hard to go running back or wide receiver, in my opinion, because it just leaves you with such a hole. McBride's your third drafted player. 2 go wide receiver, and then tight end. It really puts your running backs in a bind. I mean, that's what you did. And I can't blame you for taking the value. And I do say best player available, but best player available is dictated sometimes by the direction of the draft and what players are on the board and what your team could look like. So it's all accounted for. So that was a tough roll. What I would probably do if I'm you is trade McBride for Tyler Warren and a running back. Not just any running back, the running back that makes the difference. The Kyron, the potential Bucky, or the Achane. And you can maybe give Mason back or something to make it a 2-for-2, but you have to probably look into that Tyler Warren and Kyron for McBride. I think it's the main thing you need to do, honestly. And if you were to go like to a Kyle Pitts or a player like that, Evan Ingram, you're gonna have to get a bigger player than Kyron, even. Bucky, Achane, or Genty for McBride, and then they give you, that other piece. But very, very good squad. It's just that the running backs are really rough. So nice job in some of that, but definitely some things to fix. Did you see my $10 early in the show? I don't know, JF, if I did or not. I went through some of those, so maybe you dropped it at the very, very onset of the show. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. Hold on. JF, thank you. Appreciate you dropping the super chats. We got Josh said Pickens, or I don't know if I see it anymore. Should I drop Judkins for Ollie? Says Stars in his situation. I said, of course. May or Penix Jr. week 1, says Curry. I said Penix Jr. I don't know if I see it, JF. If you dropped it before the show started, it's possible you dropped it so early that it didn't show up, but let me see if I can find it. JF21. JF21. No, I read it already. 10-team. Pat, Gibbs, Jacobs, Hendy. Yeah, I said trade Jacobs, and yeah, you might have heard me respond to it. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. But yes, I did respond to this. I said trade Jacobs and try and get a wide receiver, Golden and Jacobs, for a wide receiver to put in front of Ladd, so you could put Ladd and move your receivers down one slot each was the recommendation. Thank you very much for the super chat, my boy. Young says Dylan Sampson or Tootin. Probably Tootin. I think you missed my super chat earlier, says Sky. I don't think I did. I think I'm still getting through it, bro. There's a long line. So Sky, if you don't see me read it in a few, I will definitely remind me again, but I'm going through them all. I think my super chat got lost. It didn't, Chris. I mean, I know a lot of you think it did, but I'm just trying to get through them. It's going to take a little while. So Chris, I'll look for yours as well. Did you see my super chat earlier? I will look for it. Thank you guys for dropping the additional super chats, asking about it. I'm going through them all. Let me see if I can find Sky. Sky's, yours is right here. Thank you, my boy. I'll get to yours in just a second here. I'm going through them as fast as I can. Austin, appreciate you with the $20 holler, which jumps to the front of the mother freaking line, my boy. And then I was reading this one. And let me get this one out of the way real quick. I made 2 super chats. I think you missed the second one. I didn't, guys. I'm really trying to get to it. Just hang tight. Appreciate you, Frederick. I'll try and find yours to put it on screen. And I may have already answered it by the time I read that one. All right, there's that one, my boy. Appreciate you. Austin with the $20 holler. Hey, brother, 16 team. Oh, the 16 teamers are rough. They're so rough. They're so rough, my boy. Let's see what you did with it, though. PPR team is QB, May, McCarthy, Hendy, Mason, JCM. Neighbors, Nico. Wow. McMillan. I mean, you got some good damn wide receivers here. You know what I like? I like this team, to be honest. I mean, in a 16-teamer, how can you... What I kind of like is maybe going and getting, like, trading Nico and Mason or JCM away to get Devontae Smith or JSN or MHJ instead of Nico, and then getting that other running back, you know, that Kyron or that Hampton or the Hendy or something like that. But it's a solid team. You could stand down. I'm selling high on Neighbors or Collins if I can get a 2-player package that I believe is going to be very, very underpriced, like a MHJ and an equivalent to MHJ at running back for my one big Nico or Neighbors. The only problem is not a lot of people in a 16 team are going to do 2-for-1s because they literally feel as thin as can be. So you're probably best waiting to go into the season. Like the team a lot, but would be open-minded to that MHJ downgrade, that JSN downgrade, grabbing Travis Hunter in a downgrade from Nico and then Neighbors, either one, and then getting that running back upgrade from Mason. That's what I'm trying to do if I'm you. Frederick, appreciate your super chat. Lamar, this is an 8-teamer, so you better be stacked to the rafters, bro. Lamar, Bajan, Hubbard, Hendy, Sharps, BTJ, Nico, Hill, Evans, Igbuka, Godwin, Pickens. Love the team, but I do believe in an 8-man, you probably should be a little bit better in your lineup, to be honest. But you got opportunity here. So am I trading? I'm keeping BTJ. I'm keeping Hendy. Am I keeping Bijan and Lamar? Am I trading Hubbard and Hill for one bigger monster running back or wide receiver? Absolute mother-freaking-lutely. Nico and BTJ are just fine. Igbuka is just fine. Pickens is just fine. So Evans and Godwin or Evans and Hill. Evans, Hill, and Hubbard are the trade pieces to go get that monster Gibbs, Genty, etc. And then you're in the money, my boy. Drop Pittman Jr. and Judkins for Tesla and Tootin. Yes, I would. Other wide receivers are chased. Make sure Ollie Gordon isn't out there, but 100% would make those moves. Those Pittman, I don't have any faith in at all. Appreciate you. $20 hauler from who's this? This is from Hangout. Appreciate you, my boy. 12-team auction. 1 QB. Hurts, Lamb, Puka, Adunze, Walker, Tracy, Jacoby Bowers. Yeah, I love the team other than what do you mean Brian Thomas Jr.? What? You said here Hopkins, Brian Thomas Jr. waivers is open. I don't understand why you list Brian Thomas Jr. at the very end of this team. Like, if you're telling me you got Brian Thomas Jr. as well as Hurts, Lamb, Puka, Adunze, Walker, Tracy, and then you have just Brian Thomas Jr. right down here. I don't understand that. Like, no one would list that at the end. I feel like I'm confused as to what you're saying. Hopefully you can give me some clarity on this, but I'm going to assume that he's not on your team because it doesn't. Yeah, does he mean Brian Robinson Jr.? That's probably what he means. You might be right. That's probably what he means. Brian Thomas Jr. He probably means Brian Robinson, yeah. Yeah, he did correct it. You're right. It's Brian Robinson Jr. Okay. That's awfully odd. This team's good. Like, Hurts, Lamb, Puka is solid. I'm trading Tracy or Walker, though. You're not going to like what I have to say, man, but I don't think this team's going to win with those running backs. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to trade Bowers and turn him into a McBride, which would be fine, right? And then you upgrade Walker or Tracy, and then you're fine. If you've got to go to the route of Tyler Warren, you can get a massive running back upgrade from Tracy or Walker to do that downgrade. And I'm talking like Bucky, Genty, or higher. And in that case, I think the team does get better. And I love Brock Bowers, but Tyler Warren is a force, bro. A force to be reckoned with. I think people that doubt him are going to be sorry. But you got to get a massive, massive upgrade to the point where you're saying to yourself, like, yeah, that's crazy, Smitty. I mean, Brock Bowers, how do you trade Brock Bowers? Tyler Warren's not as good as Brock Bowers. Well, you're drafting Genty or Bucky over Bowers. So you got to understand you're not going to get a Kittle or something if you're going and getting a player that honestly you could argue is better anyway than Bucky or Genty or HN, or even if you went Kyron. What's up, player? Just finished a 12-man 1 ounce gold entry. Wow, $3,600 entry fee. 1 ounce gold entry. I love it. I love it, SPC. I would love to walk in and you stack that. It's a silver piece. You stack that gold on the table. Everybody drops that John Wick 1 ounce on the table, and you walk in and that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. He's wearing the tuxedo as well. I want to play in a silver piece. I don't know if I want to play in a gold entry fee. 3,600 is a lot, but maybe we walk in and we drop a stack of silver or something, and do it live like that. But I love the idea of a gold league. Jeez, man, one ounce of gold is like $3,600 or whatever. So that's crazy. That's awesome. And I love that you make it be a gold piece. You're not just $3,600 entry fee. It's a gold piece. You come in with the John Wick gold piece. That briefcase John Wick has, he pulls out all the gold spot. First of all, it's a $50 hauler. We know the guy's telling the truth.
$50. Give me $50 holler. Get back.
You know he's telling the truth, dropping a 50 wad. What's up, Smitty? 12-man 1 ounce gold entry. Pick 2, drafted Bajan, Hampton, Henderson. Woo! Pick 2. Bajan and probably Henderson. And then you got Hampton and Harvey, Croskey-Merritt. Love the team. Lots of trade value. Wide receivers are a little bit to be desired, I think, through a trade. But still good. Understandable with the running back situation. But you got potentially a surplus where you could trade Harvey or Hampton if you wanted to. Merritt, not a good day for Merritt's trade value, even though it's ridiculous. It means nothing. So T-Mac or Worthy, keep Igbukah, with maybe Harvey or Hampton to get that big monster player. You could even just trade Hampton straight up for a wide receiver too if you wanted, because he's a running back. But I don't mind the team. I think it's a good team. I just think you're one trade away from being scary and making sure you don't lose that gold piece. Very, very solid running back crew. Very solid. But over unbalanced team for sure. Look, I'm willing to bank on Bajan and Hendy, and then I'm willing to bank as Harvey as my running back 3. So you really have a vested interest in going and trading a Hampton for London for BTJ. And the fact that the draft is over, the values don't matter anymore. Hampton's a running back, and you should be able to get rid of him at a higher cost than when you entered the draft. I love the squad, though. T-Mac and Worthy and Igbukah could serve you well and really surprise, no doubt about it. But I'm definitely moving Hampton for a wide receiver. Or Harvey if you could get rid of him, but Harvey's not necessarily easy to get rid of. We got another $20 holler from Dominic. Dominic, thank you for the $20 super chat, my boy. Got offered for T-Mac. I get Ladd McConkey. I'd rather have Ladd. I'd take that, my boy. I would take that trade, and then it might even flip you into. Yeah, that's it. That's the move. Chat, we agree on that one. Look. I like Ted McMillan like everybody else, but this is getting out of hand. Ladd McConkey, smash that. You just did yourself a solid, bro. You've just been
Smitty approved.
You're counting your pieces, bro. Ladd, you might have just solved your own problem. Thank you, SPC. Appreciate you dropping that super chat and the follow-up. I mean, Ladd, now you could even maybe trade Hampton and Ladd for like Lamb or Hampton and Ladd for Lamb or Jamar Chase and a running back. You know, you're going to get something else in return for that too. Like, you just upped your trade value massively. Nice job, my boy. Nice job. 10-teamer, 1 QB, 2 flex. Josh Allen, Cook, Pollard, Gordon, JCM. Like the squad. 10-team. I'd probably say I'm getting rid of Cook. I'm getting rid of Pollard. Love Gordon. Deco, BTJ, Sutton's pretty damn good. But Pearsall or Sutton, preferably Pearsall with Pollard. Pearsall with Cook to go get a Kyron or higher. You make that move, you're on track. But Dominic, until you do, I can't give you more than like a 7.3 or 2 right now. It's just not. It's a 10-teamer. You should be stacked at running back, and you have no running backs essentially in my mind. I love Gordon, of course. I love JCM, but those are spec pieces that are gonna hopefully rise up and give you like trade value or something. But James Cook and Pollard are very, very weak running backs. I don't know what happened here. Nico and BT's really good, but what was your? So that's your first and second. BT's your first. Who was your third round pick? Josh Allen's got to be. That's where it maybe would have been, you know. And then 4 is James Cook. That's a tough running. That's a tough running back 1, given the early wide receiver, and quarterback. Hence why I don't like to go imbalanced times 2. If I'm going to go early tight end, you're imbalanced, right? You're chasing the positions. You go early quarterback and early double wide receiver, then you're really struggling at RB. So the extremes, adding 2 extreme draft strategies together makes for a real hard rebound. So very, very, very tough situation. Thanks again, and congrats on getting Ladd SPC. What a move you made there. Do I drop any of the reserves for those waiver wire guys? I wish you would have put this in this new message and just asked me again, because now I got to go find it. And I don't know. Hold on a second. Hang out. Guys, if you re-ask a question about something, just ask it in the chat versus like, hey, go find the other super chat. It's just a lot quicker. Waivers open. Tesla, Thornton. I'm sorry I missed this part. Brashard Smith, Keaton Mitchell. Okay, so I like these wide receivers. I love Brashard Smith as a running back ad. Mitchell's a good running back ad. I'm probably getting rid of Hopkins for sure. I'm probably getting rid of... I personally don't care about Nick Chubb, but he's technically a starter right now. Ford's technically a starter right now. Amari Cooper. I'd get rid of Amari Cooper and D-Hop for Mitchell and Brashard if you want the 2 RBs. If you only want 1 RB, Brashard Smith and Tesla. And honestly, I could potentially be talked into dropping. I'm definitely dropping D-Hop. D-Hop, Amari, I'm cutting. And I probably could get behind cutting Nick Chubb, who I don't think will be valuable to pick up all 3 of those guys. But, you know, there's pros and cons to it. Watch. There just are. I just, you know, you could even drop Stevenson, but I'd probably rather drop Chubb. Nick Chubb is not worth much, in my opinion. He can barely move laterally at all. SPC, thanks again for the $50 hauler. Appreciate you. This one from Zachary, $20 hauler. My boy Zachary coming in strong. 10-team PPR, JD5, Cook, Montgomery, Judy, Lamb, Waddle, Bowers, Debo, Bigsby, Amari, Gordon, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones and Judkins are pretty tradable pieces, as is Monty, as is James Cook, and I don't want any one of those guys really on my roster. So give me a James Cook and Judy for 1 Kyron or Achan or a player like that. So Judy and Monty. Give me James Cook and Judy. Give me Monty and Judy for those type of players. Get another RB in there instead of Cook or Monty. Gotta upgrade into at least a Kyron, preferably a Genty, and in between a Achan and Bucky. You can make that happen, in my opinion. Throwing in a player like, if you go Cook and Waddle, I definitely would do that. Monty and Waddle, Monty and Judy. Those are the combos. Go do it live. Also, would you start Gordon over ETN? I think I would this week. I think I would risk the biscuit. But I'm crazy like that. I mean, not everybody will do something like that. I will. This is a super chat by Shrimpy, appreciate you dropping the 20 wad. Sup, Smitty, went triple running back to start my draft. 10-man PPR. Running backs are Bijan, Bucky, HN. And I will say, going triple RB is the only extreme that I do like, but I don't couple it necessarily with an early quarterback as well. Makes it tough. Or early tight end. You know, you do all these extremes together, it makes it tough. But triple RB is fine, in a 10-man especially. Bijan, Bucky, HN, Hendy, JCM. Garrett Wilson, Worthy, Ibuka, Rice, Debo. Yeah. Wow, I have this exact same running back room, except for instead of Worthy, I have Hunter. So, great job, QB's T. Law. That could be upgraded. See if Penix Jr. is out there on waivers. Trade for a stud wide receiver or upgrade my tight end. I'm okay with... tight ends, Hunter, Henry. I'd love to get Tyler Warren. You got a really good team, but I am trying to upgrade. Do I upgrade at wide receiver? Yes. Bucky, HN, Bijan, you're good. Hendy, you're good. JCM and Garrett Wilson or JCM and Worthy for a slight upgrade. And I'm talking like probably more than Lad McConkey, but I'm accepting of that scenario if you love him. Puka Nacua comes to mind. BTJ. Think you could maybe do something along those lines. JCM may not have the value now, so maybe you got to go like, you know, Debo and potentially Garrett Wilson, or Worthy and Debo. You might have to go wide receiver. And honestly, would I give up, if you could only use 3 of those running backs, would I give up like HN for a wide receiver like BTJ or something, or London? Sure, I'm okay with that if you can only start 3 wide receivers. Past that, that's really the only thing you could really do at this moment in time with that squad. Squad's really, really good. Nice job. Appreciate you. Brian Robinson Jr. or Tesla. I'm going to go Tesla personally, but it depends. If you have Christian McCaffrey, then you'd want him. But Dynasty trade Bigsby Tootin to ETN owner for Ollie Gordon. I'd rather have Ollie Gordon. Yeah, even if it doesn't work out in week 1, I'd rather have Ollie Gordon. Knicks, Bijan, Chase Brown, Walker, Adams, Pickens, Ingram, McBuka suggestions. I like the team. I'm probably trying to trade Adams and Walker, or really, if possible, Golden and Walker for just a slight Kyron or a Kyron upgrade. And if you don't have Charbonnet, I'd almost take like Breece Hall maybe, but I'd rather Hampton, Hendy, or Harvey for Walker. And if you have to give up something to get that done, something small, I'm definitely okay with that. 2 questions, Travis Hunter or Dobbins. I'm going Travis Hunter. Pick 3, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, Javonte. Sit Javonte. That's really easy. You said pick 3 and you gave me 3, though. If you mean pick 2, it's in order, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith. So thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. For the 10-teamer, I drafted Chase Brown in the 3rd, traded him for BTJ and JCM. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Either way. I don't think either one of you ripped the other one off or anything. I think that Chase Brown's very equivalent to BTJ. And then we've got this one from Sunbeam. Sunbeams, appreciate your $20 hauler. Absolutely magnificent.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
Yes, I still got a lot of super chats. So if you haven't seen yours yet, it's because I haven't gotten to it yet. But 10-man PPR, QB, Knicks, running back, Gibbs, Hendy, Sharps, Harvey, Gordon, wide receiver, London, Higgins, Rice, Igbuka, Bowers. Rate your team weakest any trades. Nope. T. Higgins. Keep Rice, Igbuka, Bowers. Keep it all. T. Higgins and I don't know that I do it now, though. T. Higgins, maybe upgrade Knicks. T. Higgins and Knicks for a top 4 quarterback. If not, then it's T. Higgins eventually being traded once Charbonnet or Gordon gain enough value. Or if you could trade T. Higgins in London for like a JJ and upgrade there. But that's really it. That's really it. And then this one was Dynasty, trade JCM to get ETN. I own Bigsby. I'm okay with this move, but I'd almost say like in a vacuum I wouldn't do it. But And then I forgot to add Jerome Ford as 14 teams. Thank you, Runs. Appreciate you dropping that. I'll find that in a second. And thank you very much for the super chat. All right, like back to the top here. Fire, I think you said you want to know if you were still online. Yes, you are. You're down a ways, but I'm gonna pull you up because you've been dropping super chats for a while now, and I'll pull you up. But definitely have a long line here. Curry, I got your super chat right here. Skynet, I think this is the second one that you had, so I'll pull you up here. Thank you, Curry. Thank you, Skynet. We've got a lot of super chats in the queue. I'm still going through them. If you dropped anything in the last 5 minutes, it's still a ways away. My Chase Brown and Debo for CD. Rest of team, your team. Bo, Bijan, Bucky, MHJ, JSN, Ingram, Sharps, Ollie, Buka, Hunter. Love the team. My Chase Brown and Debo for CD. Like, that's a lot to give, but I do it. Especially with your team. I mean, you're talking about such an oversaturation of talent that in order to get that edge, you got to trade multiple players for one player and get an edge. So totally Smitty approved. Drop Pittman Jr. and Judkins for Tesla and Tootin. I think I answered this one already. Yes, I would do that. My other wide receivers are Chase, BTJ. Yeah, easy call. $10 hauler here. One waiver wire spot. I have Sharps, JCM, Ollie, Connor, Scary Terry. Do I get Tesla? Who do I drop? Have Loveland in the tight end spot and Goddard. Drop one of them for Tesla. If tight end looks plentiful, like you look at the waiver wire and there's always somebody, then I would drop Goddard. But if you can't drop a Goddard, then I guess I don't drop anybody for Tesla that you've listed, like Scary Terry, Ollie, Connor, James. You can't. But Goddard, you can. That's an easy call. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Not sure if my super chat got lost. It didn't, Derek. You're in the queue, my boy. You're in the queue. I got you. I know everyone thinks it's been too long, but it's like a wait at a fine dining restaurant. It'll be worth it, I promise. Just wait for your table. I will serve you. Just hang tight. Smokey the Cat, thank you for your super chat, 10-man. Just remember, everybody's asking for full team evals. And so when I get a handful of super chats, and I'm talking a handful, I got to read the whole team and I got to create some sort of concept. It doesn't go fast, so when everybody's dropping in unison their full teams, it takes a while, my boy. I'm reading it faster than the average human could possibly read. I guarantee you nobody can read these faster. It's so hard, but I'm grateful of it. I'm just saying it's going to take some time to get through them all. 10-team PPR rate thoughts. JD5, Genty, H-Hand, Neighbors, Worthy, Kincaid, DJ Moore, Benches, Harvey, Monty. I'm trading Monty. I'm trading Judy Pearsall, Monty, Addison. Trading one of those guys, leaving Harvey there. But you maybe open the door for Harvey to move into the lineup or something potentially. Neighbors, Worthy, Kincaid, DJ Moore. I'm trading DJ Moore, putting Harvey in the flex. DJ Moore and Monty, or DJ Moore and Worthy to upgrade Worthy and then open that spot for Harvey. That's probably the best way. DJ Moore and Worthy to a wide receiver needy team. Do that. Do it live. Do I give them Monty as well? Maybe. Depends on the player they give me, and that might help them do it because they're getting a running back. But at least Monty and one of those receivers potentially. Thank you for the super chat. That could be a huge trade for you. That puts you in like the 9.0. Any feedback? 6-point passing, TD, 12-man, half PPR. Dak, Chase Brown, Hendy, Lamb, DK, Bowers, Hunter, Igbuka, Debo, Bigsby, Benson, Ray Davis, and Keenan Allen. I'd probably say DK's movable to me. I love Hendy and Chase Brown. DK and Dak for one bigger, stronger quarterback. DK and maybe Debo for one huge wide receiver. DK, you could even say your receivers are so good with Lamb and Hunter and Igbuka that you could go DK and Debo for a running back potentially, or a running back upgrade. DK and Chase Brown for Bijan, Genty, Gibbs maybe. Same thing for Hendy and DK for one of those three running backs, although I do think Hendy can hang. So I'd be a little bit, I don't know. I'm not sure which one I like better, Hendy or Chase Brown. And honestly, I don't know if just going and getting a monster quarterback is the better move, using DK or using potentially Debo. But I probably keep Debo. I think Debo is undervalued right now, so I'm going to say hold Debo for now. Thank you very much for the super chat. Sup, Smitty? I have Hendy, Jacobs, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Gordon, Thornton. I got offered Monty, Buka, and a 26-second rounder for Garrett Wilson and Jacobs. Got offered Monty, Buka, and a 26-second for Garrett Wilson and Jacobs. I'm going to say no. Garrett Wilson and Jacobs have more value. I like the idea of getting Buka. I do, but it seems like you're way overpaying. Garrett Wilson's still a potential top 12 wide receiver, you know, and Jacobs has a ton of trade value right now. 12-man, Dak, Bijan, Genti, Achane, Pickens, Devontae Smith, Kittle, B. Gordon, Blue, Igbuka, Hunter, upgrade or stand down Kittle, and Devontae Smith for Neighbors and Tyler Warren. I would take Neighbors and Tyler Warren in a millisecond. That's exactly what I was going to say. Kittle for Tyler Warren's the perfect trade. And if you can't do that, just organize something very similar to it, you know, potentially. Or you could even go the way of like Evan Ingram and do that, but I'd much rather have Tyler Warren. That's the move to make. You crack the code. That's the move. 12-man, full PPR. Knicks, Fields, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Sutton, Metcalf, Harvey, Bowers, Fakir. I think money is Mooney. I think you mean Mooney. Sharp, Sampson, Tesla, Ollie Gordon, any moves. I'd probably say Chase Brown and Gibbs I don't touch. Sutton and maybe Harvey for a bigger, safer running back, you know, Kyron or above, although Harvey could get that good. Just know that. Harvey and Metcalf, you could do the same thing. Sutton and Metcalf for one bigger wide receiver. Charbonnet is going to be waiting in the wings as will Ollie Gordon. And you're probably best to just wait, honestly, unless you could get someone to give you, let's call it Bijan for, you know, Metcalf and Chase Brown for Bijan and something, or Bijan straight up or whatever. I would obviously consider that strongly, but I think I'm just waiting unless I can make a trade like that, like Harvey and Metcalf for Genti, or otherwise you're really just waiting for the values to climb before you move anything. And later on, Bowers for Tyler Warren and something is a possibility. Kind of like that other guy just made that move. Like you might get Bowers for Tyler Warren and Bucky, Bowers for Tyler Warren and Genti, for Tyler Warren and Achane. Those are definitely moves I'm interested in with the team. Ike, appreciate your super chat, Ike, with the $4.99. Speaking of Harvey, missed the draft. Keenan Allen, Pacheco for their Harvey. Yes, absolutely. Smash that. Easy call. Smash that trade. 12-man. Purdy, Bijan, Bucky, Ladd, Worthy, Walker, Travis Hunter, Loveland. Like the team. Got offered JD for Walker and Worthy. I would probably take JD 5. You have Travis Hunter and Ladd still. Yes, absolutely. That's a smash of a trade. It's a lot to give up, like on the surface level, because you're going and getting a quarterback, but it's definitely a move you can afford to do. 10-man, Jordan, appreciate you. $10, I mean. Drafted 10-teamer. Hurts, Penix Jr., Chase, Jamar Chase, Igbuka, Golden, Myers, Kyron, Hampton, Hendy, Harvey. Love the team. Warren, thoughts on moves? Someone sniped Ted McMillan and Pickens. That's all right. Bro, your team's fire. I don't think I'm moving anything. I don't think I'm moving a thing. I don't want to. I'll wait for Ollie. Maybe you make a trade with Ollie Gordon if he gains more and more and more value. But Hampton and Hendy, unless you can move like, I don't know, Golden and Hampton, or Golden and Kyron, or Golden and Hendy, or Golden and Harvey for just that Genti or Bucky upgrade, or Achane even maybe. That's it, Jordan. There's no other move to make. Your team's fire. Let it all ferment. Let those rookies gain value. Rookies always gain value if you know, unless they fail. But I really want to go get Harvey on waivers, and I don't know on waivers. Harvey on waivers. Why would Harvey be on waivers, school? 8-man, I don't care. He shouldn't be on waivers. Who do you drop? First of all, it's a full load drop. Second of all, you got Kittle. Yeah, I mean, the only drop is Pearsall or and Njoku. And in an 8-man, you should have plenty of tight ends out there. Unless I'm wrong on that, you would know that. I wouldn't. I would say drop your backup tight end and do a full load drop. And if it's a waiver order, you just better hope someone else doesn't get them. That's insane. That's insane. Rate my squad 10-man flex. Burrow, Bucky, Hendy, JCM, Ollie, Jordan Mason, CD, Worthy, Buka, Hunter. Amazing. What are you going to do with this team, McBride? There's nothing to move. JCM and Worthy for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Sure. Would I do that? Absolutely. Past that, you're just sitting on that team. It's a freaking 8.4 out of 10 probably, bro. What a squad. Love the team. Fantastic team. This one here is from DTX. DTX, appreciate you dropping the super chat. 12-team PPR. How's the team looking? Nixon, London, Metcalf, Hampton, Chase Brown, Hawkinson, flexes, Jacobs. I'm trading Jacobs if I can. Buka, Gordon, Blue. I want Buka in the lineup anyway. I want Buka in there as the flex. So we're going to try and give up DK and Chase Brown for one bigger BTJ or higher monster. That's easy, light work. That's the only move to make. Honestly, it's a fantastic move. Alex, appreciate your super chat. Upgrade at QB or stay put. You got Kyler Murray and Penix. That's not bad, bro. You know, to upgrade them, you got to send something away. And I don't think I want to send any of these players away yet. Let the quarterbacks do their thing. MHJ's got to get better. Hunter's going to get, proven. JJ's going to be great. No need to divide and conquer this at all. HN and Hampton or Harvey are fire. I think I'm just sitting and standing down until Scatter, Ollie, or Sharps become so valuable that you can't even use them and you trade them for a quarterback. So yes, Alex, eventually I think you do address the idea, but you're waiting for all that value that is Sharps and, just growing value on the bench. That is what you're doing. You're waiting. Stand down.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
Thank you very much for the super chat. Joey, would you trade Dobbins straight up for Ollie Gordon? Again, Joey, I only say this so that you, Jordan says, Smitty, the only other part of the super chat was who you starting at running back and wide receiver in the flex positions. Jordan, let's see here. Let's see if I can find that. Hold on, Jordan. Rate my team, one flex. And then what was this? Hurts. Thoughts? Someone picked up sniped. I don't see a start bench question in here. Moves, thoughts, moves. Oh, start who at? Okay, sorry, the bottom. My bad. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. I would say Jamar Chase, Igbuka, Kyron Hampton, and your flex is going to be Hendy. I mean, what can you do? You can't sit Hendy. It's just not even an option. Thank you, Joey. Joey, let me ask you a question, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. It's just trying to ask. Like, I just showed you the Supernova list, and Ollie Gordon's on there. And I'm constantly talking about how J.K. Dobbins is one of the worst running backs in the league from efficiency perspective. Like, what on earth are we doing, Joey? Would you trade J.K. straight up for Ollie? Why wouldn't I? Why would I put Ollie on the Supernova list? You know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm saying it this way, and I appreciate your super chat, is just so anybody else that's wavering right now. It's not about you, Joey. It's about that this is a constant message I'm seeing that where people are like, okay, I hear you, Smitty. Supernova, you're calling Ollie Gordon one of the best 13 picks in all of fantasy football 2025. But are we taking Ollie Gordon over J.K. Dobbins? Are we taking Caleb Williams over Ollie Gordon? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at you, Joey. I'm merely trying to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying, because it feels like they aren't. Plus small fab kicker in a deep league. I certainly would give up whatever I had to fab-wise, honestly. B-Men, appreciate you. Redraft Harvey or Buki. We're going to Buka for week 1, but, arguable, debatable. Travis Hunter or Olave week 1. Definitely Travis Hunter and Njoku or Kraft. I'm going to go probably Kraft, honestly. But that's a dice roll. Rate my 12-team league. Lamar, Chase Brown, Gibbs, Hendy, Warren, Worthy, Doomsday, Golden, McBride. Like it. 12-man. Very, very good. Your running backs are off the hook. And I think Worthy, Adunze, and Golden are pretty good considering. But would I be tempted to try and upgrade at running back a little or wide receiver a little bit? I would, but I don't know at the expense of anything but like McBride to Tyler Warren, and then you get a wide receiver monster. But that's the only thing that I would consider. Appreciate your team. Your team is easily a 7.9 until you make a move, though. 8.0 means that you're pretty much a top 3 or 4 team in your league without even be looking at anything. So I'm very, very critical. But almost 8.0 is great. It's just one move away or a riser from your team becomes a star, you know. Would you trade Cooks for Harvey? Who's Cooks? You mean James Cook? James Cook for Harvey? Yes, I would take Harvey. I'd take Hendy over Harvey, so Hendy for sure. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you. You're the man, bro. Bob to the moon. Thank you, Bob. Think you passed on my super chat. I think I just answered it a few minutes ago, so I think you're good. But anybody that's asking if I passed on the super chat, I didn't. I'm just literally trying to go through them all. I appreciate you. I'm so sorry it's taking so long. I'm going as fast as a human possibly could go through. By the way, we're getting about 150 subscribers a day. Just watching that number go is amazing, and appreciate you all. Subscribe if you're new. We got 1,000 people in here still. We got 1,007 people in here. 411 thumbs up is pretty solid. But keep hitting that thumb up button, and please subscribe if you're new, because I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live whenever big news breaks, and I'm also live most every single midnight, which if we get done in enough time here, I will be back. If not, we'll see. After last night's show, traded Cup and Monty for Ibuka in Hampton. Wait a minute. Come on, bro. You traded Cup and Monty not only for just Ibuka, which would be a veto trade if you had vetoes in your league. And I don't condone vetoes, but I'm just saying leagues that have vetoes. You traded Cup and Monty for Ibuka and Hampton, then dropped Ferguson for Brian Robinson, dropped Lockett for Aldi Gordon. What do I think? I think I think you're playing with you're a grown man playing in a Pop Warner league with players that are 4.5 feet tall. Like I'm proud of you, but at the same time, like I'm not, because you're literally playing with people that don't know what they're doing. So pat yourself on the back as you go to the bank. But that is wild. Nice job. Auto drafted the whole team. That's not good. And most of my boys back home slept through the alarm at 7 a.m. and got CMC, Hubbard, Hill, and Waddle trade ideas. Yeah, get rid of Hill, get rid of CMC. Genty, Achan, Hendy, Hampton, Bucky, and obviously whichever one you get entitles you to another wide receiver that's greater. Like, let's say you went down to Genty from CMC. You could get Devontae Smith. That's a league-winning move. If you go down to Kyron or go down to Hampton or Hendy, you could maybe get a much better wide receiver. And that's not even trading Hill. Hill you could trade straight up for like a Hampton or a Hendy or a Kyron. So sorry you auto-drafted. Once you make a move like that, you're kind of back in the mix, bro. Like right away. 12-man, full PPR, rate my team. Josh Allen, Jettas, Higgins, Bucky, Harvey, Ingram, Hunter, benches, Ibuka. Love the team. Let's get Ibuka in the starting lineup somehow. Let's trade Higgins and Harvey for one better running back, or Higgins and potentially Ingram for McBride or Bowers or something like that. Higgins and Ingram for McBride might work. And then get Ibuka in your lineup. Charbonnet might get you something later. That's really the only move. I mean, I'm not really sure I'm going to move like Jettas or Bucky or Harvey unless I'm upgrading Harvey. I'm probably not moving Hunter because I love Hunter. And I'm not moving Buka. I'm not moving Josh Allen. That's the only moves that you make. Otherwise, Chris, let it ride a little bit, and then your values will all go up, and then we can do some buy low, sell high stuff. This is a $5 hauler. Sub Smitty. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. JD5, wide receiver, Judy, Lamb, Waddle. Get rid of Waddle and Cook, maybe. Monty. I don't know why we got a lot of Cook and Monty teams. What are we doing with our running back stable? I got like 3 or 4 teams have been like this so far. Cook, get rid of Cook and Waddle for one better player. Kyron, Hampton, Hendy, Monty and Cook for one player. And then I guess just throw Gordon in your lineup and go crazy with that. I mean, honestly, I would trade Cook, Monty, and Waddle for one monster running back and throw Aldi in the flex. You got Bigsby as well that could go in there. Zachary, risk it with those running backs, Aldi and Bigsby, and upgrade. Like, risk the biscuit. You know, if you're not first, you're last. So why not just use those values? How did I do? Half PPR, Dak, Love, Genty, Hendy, Swift. Get rid of Swift. Sharbs, let him ferment on the bench. Chubb, trade him, cut him, whatever. Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith. Love the team, actually. Dak and Swift. Love and Swift. Dak, Love, and Swift to get a Mahomes or better quarterback. That's the only move I'm looking to do right at this moment, at least. Great squad. Let it go into week 1. Create some value. $10 hauler, Dante Thornton to the moon. Yes, yes, yes. Gino has been targeting him in camp. Yes, he has. Why don't we talk about him more? We do. He's on the Moon Man list. He's on the waiver wire board. We talk about him every day, Lammo.
The Moon Man.
I mean, we talk about
dropping loads in outer space.
Where'd he go?
Space Monsters.
He's over here. Sorry. We talk about him every day. Thornton Jr. We did have him on the Moon Man list. Did I nudge him and move him over?
Dropping loads in outer space.
I don't know why he's delayed on screen here. Yeah, he should still be on here. I don't know what's going on here, but he's a midseason monster. We're maybe moving him around, but he's definitely the midseason monster. If for any reason he does fall off this board, I don't know what I was tweaking there when that happened, but we talk about him all the time, bro, all the time. I mean, the fact that we have him on the preemptive waiver wire show for like 4 straight shows, and we've done preemptive waiver wire for months now. We do like one show every month at least on the waiver wire stuff. So we talk about him all the time. You probably won't find a channel that talks about him more. 18 team. What are we doing here? Lamar, Stafford, Pickens, Hunter, Rice, Keenan Allen, Genty, Gordon. This ain't an 18 team league. This looks like a 12. There's no way you got Lamar and Pickens and Hunter and Rice and Genty and Gordon, Ingram. You're never doing an 18 team again. Why? You dominated it. And there's nothing to trade. No one's trading an 18 team league. What do? You're going to do 2-for-1s in an 18 team league? People can't do that. Just sit on that team. Log out of your app and walk away and stop complaining. You did absolutely fantastic. That's better than most of the 14 team leagues we just drafted on the show. Full PPR, Herbert, Chase Brown, Kyron, Genty, Ollie, DJ Moore, London, McMillan, Igbuka, Keep Judy, Kelsey moves. Am I right, chat? There's a phenomenal 18-team league. Bro, there's some 18 leagues. The change in that number, the loose change in that number, 10 plus the 8, you just take 18 leagues. Some of them aren't as good as that. I mean, come on. Never doing that again. Why? You dominated that. It's like going into a basketball game, scoring 75 points in 4 quarters and coming out and going, never playing basketball again. Full PPR, Herbert, Chase Brown, Kyron, Genty, Ollie, DJ Moore, London. Love the squad. You know, Judy and McMillan. You know, could you trade McMillan? Yeah, I could. Herbert and McMillan for a quarterback upgrade. McMillan and Chase Brown for maybe a slight Bucky, or not Bucky, I'd say like Gibbs or Bijan upgrade. DJ Moore could be upgraded potentially using, I don't know. You could even go Kyron and Judy, DJ Moore and Kyron, go get a potential Bucky. Past that, I mean, what are you going to do, bro? What are you going to do with that team? What's up, Smitty? PPR. Meaning it's a good team. 8.0, easy. Smitty, PPR, 12-team, 1 QB. Fields, Caleb Williams. I don't love those quarterbacks, to be honest. Henry, Brown, Sharbs, Ollie, Wilson, Scary Terry, Moore, Pearsall. I don't know. 12-team league. How do you come over? Garrett Wilson, Scary Terry, and Moore and Pearsall are decent. But Henry, Chase Brown, I feel like it's lacking a little bit. If this is me, I'm trading Henry for Genty, Bucky, Achan, or Hampton or Hendy. And just depending on the player, getting another wide receiver upgrade. Devontae Smith and Genty would win you the league. You know, that kind of move. JSN, MHJ, Travis Hunter and Genty. Travis Hunter and Bucky for Henry. Maybe even Hendy and Travis Hunter potentially. Do that kind of trading, you're going to be in good standing, my boy. Appreciate you very much. Runzy, appreciate you with the $5 hauler. Rate my squad: Bo Nix, Goff, Hampton, Kyron Williams, Caleb Johnson, CeeDee Lamb, Sutton, Igbuka, Addison. I love Sutton, even though I disrespect him all the time. And I'm trading Sutton and potentially Sutton and Hampton for like a Genty maybe or a Bucky. Sutton and Caleb Johnson for a potential MHJ upgrade. Lab McConkey comes to mind. Lab would be a fantastic maneuver for you, my boy. Full PPR, Ricky, Hunter, Igbuka, Diggs, and Adunze. Ricky, Hunter, Igbuka, Diggs, and Adunze. Probably going to go with Igbuka is the safest option. Then Travis Hunter, then Pretty Ricky, potentially in that order. Would you trade Harvey and Hunter for Bowers and Igbuka? Harvey and Hunter for Bowers and Igbuka. Probably. It's a really close call. Love the squad. Definitely think that I'm doing that trade, but that's me. I'm crazy. I think a lot of people would, though. 12-team full PPR Superflex. Josh Allen, Kyron, Pacheco, Jamar, Sutton, DK, Warren, benches, Addison. So I'm trading Addison, leave Aldi Gordon alone, leave Blue alone, Ferment on the bench. DK and Addison, DK and Sutton, Pacheco and DK, Sutton and Pacheco, going and getting a Kyron, going and getting a Lad McConkey or higher, a BTJ, going and getting a Hampton, going and getting a Hendy using those combos of players, specifically like Pacheco and Addison, Pacheco and DK. Addison probably won't get it done. Pacheco and DK might. Worst case scenario, you could even potentially trade like Allen down to Mahomes and upgrade maybe Pacheco into a Hampton or DK into a BTJ type of move. Love the squad overall, though. Very, very easy to move some of those pieces around and get into that 8.0, which you can't get into yet unless you make a couple of those moves. Rate my team, $20 hauler, or $20 league, $10 hauler. I went Bijan, Bucky, Chase Brown, and then Evans, Adams, Worthy, Devontae Smith. Like the team, QB Mahomes, Evan Ingram is your, or Tyler Warren is your, and Evan Ingram are your tight ends. I could move Evan Ingram, I think. Is that Evan? I think it's Evan Ingram is what you're trying to say here, though. So Evan Ingram and Evans for a BTJ or equivalent, a Puka Nacua, etc. And then Adams, Worthy, Evans. I guess I could move potentially. I think it's just moving one of those players around, like the tight end and two of those wide receivers together, like Adams and Worthy and Evans. Like I'm consolidating. I could probably keep Devontae Smith because I really, like I said, think he could be potentially way better than people give him credit for. Adams is older. I worry about it. Evans is older. I worry about it. So I probably keep Worthy and Devontae Smith, trade Evans and Adams together for one monster wide receiver, Neighbors, JJ, maybe BTJ. Probably are the moves to make, my boy. Appreciate you with the super chat. We got Gleam with the $20 hauler. $20 haulers get immediate attention. Gleam, thank you so much for the super chat, young man. I will answer your question right this very second. Anybody wants to jump to the front of the line? We're getting closer, though. We're at, like, I think 11 super chats left after Gleam. Gleam, thank you so much. Josh Allen, Bucky, Pollard, Harvey, Ollie, and Joku, JJ, MHJ, Worthy, Buka, Debo. Also, what moves should I make? Who should I start in week one? A lot of questions in one. Honestly, I would say moves to make. I would say, love the wide receivers, running back one, Bucky, Josh Allen, amazing, Harvey, really good, Pollard. So I'd probably say, like, if I can move Pollard, I'm trying to maybe either upgrade. I mean, damn, I don't know. What do you do with your starting lineup? I don't know what your starting requirements are. So I'm going to say in order, I'm starting JJ and probably Worthy as my 1 and 2, and probably Buka as my flex. I'm starting Bucky and Harvey probably over Pollard. That's probably where I'm at on the squad. Do I think Pollard can be moved? Maybe. Do I try and get Tyler Warren using Pollard or Tyler Warren using, let's say, Debo? Sure. Would I upgrade or consolidate MHJ and Worthy, or Debo and MHJ, or Debo and Worthy for one BTJ? Yes, because I want to get Buka and keep Buka in my lineup as my wide receiver 3. Those are the trades I would make. Appreciate you for your super chat. If you have any other follow-ups, let me know. But that team is unbelievable. BBQ says, thanks, looked through the tough. BBQ, thanks again for the super chat. Appreciate you earlier, man. Who would you trade for QB? Goff, running backs, Saquon, Chase Brown, Kamara. Let's get rid of Kamara and McLaurin, or Kamara and Mike Evans for a bigger, stronger monster wide receiver. Actually, you got Debo on the bench and Ted McMillan on the bench. Kamara and Tet for a running back upgrade. Kyron, Bucky, HN, Hendy. And then let's go Debo in the lineup. And let's try and get rid of maybe Mike Evans and Monty for a slight BTJ Lab McConkey even move. I like Mike Evans. You want to roll with Mike Evans for one more year, then just do the first move. If you trust Mike Evans, some people trust Mike Evans, you know, and I don't blame him. I mean, I think he could have one more year left, but I'd rather have that BTJ, that Neighbors, that London, and maybe Lab McConkey, Puka Nacua as well. Even though I don't love Puka as much long-term, I'm trying to get rid of him long-term, but I'm feeling better about Stetson Bennett maybe being the long-term option. We'll have to see. Who would you trade? So, yeah, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you for the super chat, Aaron to the moon. We got this one here, $5 hauler, 10-team league, Daniels, Penix Jr., Genty, Hendy, Harvey, Ollie, London, Wilson, Rice, Hunter, Samuel. This is a good team. Warren moves to make. Let the team go out there and ball. Because I don't really want to replace any of these guys. I love them all. And until they gain more value, you're not getting fair market value anyway. So you're a total stand-down team with a 8.0 rating because of the depth and lineup that you have. Making a move would be bad for you because those are all value gainers in the next handful of days here. 12-man Superflex. Burrow, Brown, Bucky. Chase Brown, Bucky, Higgins, Javonte Williams, Jamo Williams, Ingram, Croskey-Merritt, Sharbs. You're waiting on Sharbs. You're waiting on Tootin. You're not making any moves there. And as far as like the team goes, like what could you trade to even make sense walking into week one? I mean, first of all, who's your quarterback? Who's your second quarterback? May. Okay, that's good. So May and Burrow. T. Higgins and Croskey-Merritt for a slight wide receiver upgrade in Ladd or Puka or London or whatever. Or if you go running back, I suppose you could Croskey-Merritt and Higgins for, if you can't start another running back, I wouldn't do it. Ingram, Croskey-Merritt and Ingram for, honestly, for Tyler Warren. Higgins and Ingram for McBride. Jamo Williams and Higgins for a BTJ or London. Croskey-Merritt, would I throw him into? Maybe. Just kind of depends on the value. Appreciate you for dropping the super chat. And good squad. Alex, appreciate your super chat here. 12-man, 2 flex. Dak, CD, Puka, Hampton, Hendy, Hawkinson, Garrett Wilson, Igbuka, Debo, and in May. Was that? Oh, did I just answer that one? This looks like the same team. Blue, Marks, Blue, Mixon, any moves. Hawkinson, I don't trust. Hawkinson to Tyler Warren and then upgrade, let's just say, I don't even know what you upgrade. Quarterback, if you can, a little bit. If you can go to a Mahomes from Dak. Hampton, I suppose you can upgrade into a Genty, a Bucky, or an HN if you're using Hawkinson. And honestly, if I could get, I mean, depends on who's there on waivers for tight end, but if I could go from Hawkinson to Tyler Warren and upgrade Hampton slightly like that, or upgrade Garrett Wilson slightly, or upgrade potentially Debo slightly, I do it. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you. Love the team. You're also a team that would not necessarily need to trade in week one because it's not like you're trying to get rid of falling knives or something, and you got to get it out before it completely loses value and falls to the floor. This is a situation where your team's probably getting better as the weeks go on. So you're waiting to help get you more value. JD5, running backs, Genty, Hampton, Hendy, Thank you for the subscriber, whoever just subscribed. Genty, Hampton, Hendy, Harvey, Sharps, Gordon, very weak at wide receiver with Ibuka, Downs. Yeah, you guys got to be careful going to straight wide receiver shopping. I'm sorry, running back shopping, and not even considering the other side of this coin here. I would say Harvey and Downs for something, and Hendy, Hampton, Genty. You're probably better off waiting before you sell low. But would I trade Sharps early to the Walker owner to upgrade Downs? You can look at that. Would I trade Hampton and Downs right now for a BTJ-esque player? Puka Nacua, London. I absolutely would. Would I take Lab McConkey and something? Maybe. Just depends on what you're really doing. I mean, Hampton for Lad, I'd rather have Hampton. So it would have to be Hampton and Lad, and you get some sort of player that I really like, or upgrade Downs, or do something along those lines. But like the team a lot. Team looks really, really good. Smitty, I've got Gibbs, Hampton, Hendy, Ibuka, London, McBride, benches, Addison, Travis Hunter, Sharps, Debo, Ollie. Got Herbert at QB. How can I upgrade my team? I would say you don't touch the Gibbs or Hampton, a Hendy situation. You don't touch Ibuka. You don't touch London. You don't touch McBride. You have Sharps and Hunter on the bench. You're a holding pattern. Unless you can get rid of Debo and let's call it Hampton for a Genty or an Achan or a Bucky. So if you can use Debo or Addison or Ollie Gordon now or Sharps or Addison, like I said, hold on to Travis Hunter to upgrade London into a Chase or a Lamb, or upgrade Hampton into a Genty or Bucky, then I'm standing down. Love the team. Blake, thank you so much for the super chat. This one here is from Shoddy. Shoddy says, wife's team is Mahomes, Gibbs, Bucky, Terry, Rice, McBride, Hendy. Bench is thin, ETN, Kelsey. Love the team. She needs wide receiver 1-2. Hendy, Rice for my JSN and Brees. I would rather have Hendy and Rice by quite a bit. JSN and Brees is nice, but that's just my opinion on that side of that trade. Do what you want as far as helping your wife's team out, but evaluating the trade, I definitely think the Brees side is not as good. Thank you. And good squad, though. Very good squad. Smitty, need help trading for a running back 2. Team is QB, Nix, Penix, K. Walker, Samson, Sharps, Allen, Mason, Nico, Lambuka, Hunter, Rice. Love the receivers. Honestly, Bowers, wow. Don't love the running backs. That's true. I don't know, man. Hampton for... I mean, God, you might have to trade Ibuka and no, hold on. Man, because Rice is out 6 games, maybe you're trading Rice and K. Walker for a stud Genty Bucky player, Genty Bucky Achan, using Rice and K. Walker. Maybe you're trying to get something else, but you probably do need to make a trade. I don't think you can roll in with those RBs now. Maybe the bench guys step up, but how many losses do you have before that happens? Shady, appreciate you. 10-man Dak, Bajan, Bucky, Garrett Wilson, Hunter, Kyron, Hendy. Love the team. Your flexes are amazing. Pitts. Your bench, you got Rice, Buka, Debo, Ollie Gordon, Sharps. It's crazy. That bench is insane. Dak, if you can upgrade Dak using any of those bench pieces, I would consider it. Can't blame you for not being able to or wanting to potentially hold on to Buka, Rice, or Debo with that lineup. And honestly, Dak is the main ingredient to upgrade. Everything else is phenomenal. Pitts is even pretty damn good. But Kyron, Hendy, Garrett Wilson, Hunter, Bucky, Bajan, that's a freaking phenomenal squad. It really is just about using the bench talent to upgrade quarterback. That's at least where my mind is at. What a squad. Looking freaking fantastic. This one's from Shane. Shane, appreciate your super chat. Long time, first time Smitty, appreciate you. Any changes? 10-man, full PPR, Lamar, Love, Bajan, Chase, Sharps, Ollie, Tet, Jamo. Probably say with this squad, 10-team, love the running backs. You're waiting on Sharps and Ollie and JCM to be tradable pieces. Malik Neighbors, you're just holding on to. So I'm going to say stand down on this one. You got a really, really good squad. Rice, Tet McMillan, Jamo, and Malik. I mean, there's nothing to trade here. This team is actually really, really, really good. There's nothing to move. Stand down. Making a trade sometimes is just not the right move. And, you walk out of week 1. Let's see what you got, because that's a solid squad. This one here is from JH, appreciate you. I messed up. I autoed on a 12-team PPR. Need help fixing the running back room. I've Hurts, Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith, Nico, MHJ, Debo, Worthy. Jeez. Bigsby. So you got no running backs. I get you just keep Nico, I think, or Amon-Ra, and then trade the other one. And I think you go across for a Bucky, a Genty, a Kyron, preferably a Bucky, an Achan, or a Bucky, Achan, or Genty, using Amon-Ra or Nico, just whichever one honestly can get you that. Then once you get that in play, honestly, you have some options. I mean, you could go Judkins and Devontae Smith for a Kyron, or for a Hendy, or for a Hampton. You could maybe go Judkins for Harvey and just give up something small. Easy to fix, bro. Your team's going to be so good. And could you get by having a Monrod or Nico with MHJ and Debo or Worthy? Yeah, so Worthy's expendable as well. Worthy and potentially a running back like Judkins for a I don't know, a Kyron-esque player, a Hampton-esque player. I think you certainly can pull something like that off. A $5 hauler, how would you feel about swapping Caleb Johnson and Myers for Wilson and Benson? I'd feel like you're robbing that individual, and they would not want to be your friend after. Trade Chase Brown, Breece Hall, and Purdy for Josh Allen, Achan, and Mims. So, man, you go from Purdy to Josh Allen. You go from Chase Brown to Achan, Breece Hall, and Mims. Man, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, and Purdy, Josh Allen, Achan. I'm going to go Josh Allen, Achan, but it's kind of hard to evaluate that squad. That is definitely like an interesting trade. Should I trade Gibbs and Gordon for Bijan and Warren? Gibbs and Golden for Bijan and Warren. I assume that's Tyler Warren. If it's Tyler Warren, I'd rather have Bijan and Tyler Warren. If it's Jalen Warren, then I'd rather have Bijan. Even so, I'd still rather have Bijan and Jalen Warren. I mean, Golden's nice, but I still think Bijan Robinson's worth it. But hopefully that's Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren would be unbelievable. But you got to be clear on that one. Ben, appreciate your super chat here. Ben with a strong $5 hauler here. Aloha, Smitty. Thank you, pal. 10-team PPR. Picks are Lamb, Bucky, JD5, Hendy, Harvey, Buka, Golden, Evan Ingram, Debo, Tyler Warren. Love the squad. My boy, Trey Benson on the bench. I like that. Lamb, Bucky, and JD5 and Hendy are just insane. Buka, Golden. I think the only thing I consider is, can I upgrade Harvey and Golden together into one better player? Sure. I'm thinking Hendy. You already got Hendy. I'm thinking Bucky. I'm thinking Achan, et cetera, et cetera. Golden and maybe Ingram for a McBride, or you got Tyler Warren, so I think you could get rid of Evan Ingram pretty easily. So maybe we don't go after McBride. Maybe we go Evan Ingram and Golden for JSN, for MHJ, for Lab McConkey. Those would be awesome offers. But I think Golden and Ingram, go to the tight end needy teams and go to the running back room, and maybe a Harvey and Ingram gets you a nice bump over a player that we like Harvey a lot, but could be ranked higher. Debo and Ingram for one slightly better wide receiver could also work, Ben. Appreciate your team and appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. This one here from Galaxy. He says 12-man PPR moves May, Bijan, Bucky, Chase Brown, Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Ingram. Benches Rice, Ibuka, Higgins. I mean, what are you going to do here? I imagine that's T. Higgins because he's next to Ibuka, but it's probably, maybe it's Jaden Higgins. What do I do? If this is me, probably not a thing. Probably not a thing, bro. Maybe ETN, if he gains value, could be traded with May to upgrade May slightly, but I also like Penix Jr. I don't know, man. I'd probably say this squad is a stand down. Bucky and Bijan are the number 1 and number 3, maybe number 4 running backs in the National Football League. Chase Brown's top 5 to 6 at running back. MHJ, Garrett Wilson's really nice. Maybe I want to upgrade Garrett Wilson or MHJ slightly. But you got Rice and Ibuka. part of me thinks that this team is just so good and balanced that you just hang out and let it do its thing, man, for a week or two. Because I think you just gain value every day that you wait. $10 hauler, Goff, Chase Brown, Hendy, Nico, Ricky. I trade Ricky. I trade potentially Evans. I trade Pollard. I trade Pacheco. I want to get a safer vehicle. And so if I'm trading pretty Ricky and Evans right now, I'm probably going after a wide receiver that's round 2 capable. Do I need to upgrade Chase Brown and Hendy? Not necessarily. Pollard, Pacheco and Ricky, Pacheco and Evans. Pacheco and Evans probably gets you a Hampton. Pacheco and Evans probably gets you a McBride. But you have Loveland. Maybe you throw Loveland into the trade and you go get McBride or Bowers somehow. Very, very strong team. Love the team. To the moon, bro. Skyward, appreciate your super chat. Lots of good teams here. All right, we got 2 more here. And we may bounce after this, just so I can potentially have a chance to come back. It's late, but I think it can come back for a show. We'll have to see. 12-man, 2 flexes, Dak, Swift, Harvey, Collins, Judy, JSN, MHJ, Buka, Bowers. If I missed your super chat, I got 3 of them on screen, and then we're going to be out of here. If I missed it, please put a bunch of red emoji question marks. Not a normal question mark. If you put a normal question mark, I'm not going to see it. It's going to be your own fault. Put a bunch of red emoji question marks, and I will go look for your super chat if I missed it. If you went on a potty break, I didn't miss it, but I'll still try and see it for you. Yo, Smitty, should I start Dak or JJ McCarthy PPR? I'm going to go Dak. Pretty easy call for me. Appreciate you. This team right here, JSN, Judy, MHJ, Buka, Bowers have the most backups. Bigsby, Benson, I don't know. Dak, Swift, Harvey, Collins. I'm going to say JSN, MHJ, Buka, Bowers. It's a good team. I guess I'm just trying to upgrade Swift. You know, Swift and maybe JSN for one running back. You got MHJ, Buka, Collins. I think you're okay getting rid of like MHJ or JSN. Get rid of one of those guys with Judy, with Swift, maybe a 3-for-1 even. But Judy and Swift, or JSN and Swift, or MHJ and Swift to get you that Kyron Williams, that Hampton, that Hendy. I think it's doable. I think it's real doable. That would be a difference maker for this team. You'd be a solid squad at that point, like an 8.0. Rate my team 10-man. Allen, Bucky, Kamara, and Nakua, McLaurin, Mark Andrews, Sutton, Purdy, Bench, Monty and Judy for one player, or you're going into the lineup and you're saying Monty, McLaurin for a potential BTJ, Puka, Lab McConkey, Kamara, and Sutton for a Kyron or a Hampton. Love Bucky, love the team, solid squad. Not sure that there's much more to advise you to do other than just take a peek around. I mean, even Mark Andrews and Monty for a better tight end, you know. Mark Andrews for Tyler Warren. See if you can even do that straight up. But Sutton to upgrade Kamara into that Genty or Achane to get that extra Bucky Irving type power. McLaurin and Monty for that slight wide receiver upgrade. You know, like I said, Ladd might even work, but hard to say. These last 2 super chats, and then we're out of here. Appreciate everybody in the building. Rate my team full PPR, 12 team PPR. Mahomes, Genty, Bill, BTJ, Ladd, JSN, Waddle, Bench, Rice, Hollywood, J.K. Stevenson, Dobbs, Hunter. Love the team. I mean, what are you going to do with this squad, really? Other than Bill and Waddle for a slight upgrade or something like that. Leave BTJ alone. Leave Ladd alone. Mahomes and Genty. JSN and Waddle. JSN and Bill. JSN and Bill might get you maybe JSN and Bill gets you a London or a Puka or something of that nature. But I think Bill and Waddle for Lab McConkey, Bill and Waddle for Hampton, Bill and Waddle for Harvey would be solid moves for this team. Great job. Love the squad. Brooks, appreciate you. 12-man. Jacobs, Hendy, May, Nico, Puka, Hunter, McMillan, Myers. Rating, any moves? I would say Jacobs I'm getting rid of. I'm keeping Nico, Hendy, and Puka. Keeping Hunter. McMillan and Jacobs for one big monster. And I'm thinking Genty, Bucky, Achane. Jacobs for Hendy, Hampton straight up. Jacobs for BTJ, if I can get that. And you've got good balance with the squad potentially. Although if you get rid of Jacobs, you're going to need a running back. So I'd say Jacobs for a running back. So it's going to be Jacobs for Kyron, Jacobs for Bucky, Jacobs for Achane, Jacobs for Genty, and you're giving up that McMillan, I think, to get that done. I think that might actually work for you. A $20 hauler from Worldwide. Appreciate you. Jay with the $20 hauler. Jay, appreciate you. Bunk bed style $20
alert.
celebration.
Super chat alert.
Okay, thank you for the super chat. Then we have somebody that says I didn't get to their super chat. Let's see if you took let's see if I actually skipped yours, Tate, or did you take a potty break? And I don't blame you if you did. It's a long show. I've been live for 3 hours already. Let's see here. Let's see. 12 team, $9 hauler. Hertz, Brown, Hampton, JJ, Tet, McMillan, Kelsey, Rome, Downs, ETN, Higgins. I don't know if I did read this one. Maybe that's my fault. Offered Kyler, Ladd for Hertz and Rome. Yeah, I didn't see this one. I apologize. Offered Kyler, Ladd for Hertz and Rome. Kyler, Ladd. Give me... Man, I guess give me Kyler and Ladd. Hertz and... I like Ladd. I'd rather get Ladd a different way. I'd probably keep this. I think you can still trade Rome somehow. Rome and Tet McMillan for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Or Rome and Kelsey for a tight end upgrade. Or Rome and potentially keep JJ. Yeah, I like the idea of keeping Hertz on this squad, bro. Chase Brown, Hampton, JJ, Hertz. You got a really good team. Tet and Rome. Tet and ETN and Rome. If that's T. Higgins, I don't know if it's T. Higgins or Jaden Higgins. If it's T. Higgins, that's crazy. I don't think it is. It's got to be Jaden Higgins. Tet and Rome. I don't know if Tet and Rome can get you a wide receiver, but I try. Tet and Rome. I give up Tet for Ladd McConkey. So Tet and Rome for Ladd McConkey, and then keep Hertz. I just don't want to get rid of Hertz. This person might not want to trade with you if you don't give them Hertz, or they're dead set against anything else. Give up Rome and Hampton for a slight upgrade like Genty, Bucky, or Achane instead of Hampton. And I do like Hampton. All right, so I think I caught you up. I'm sorry about missing your super chat. And then this one right here. B. Jackson says I missed his super chat. Let's see here. 10 team, $20 hauler. Jackson, I'm sorry if I missed your super chat. $20 hauler. Thank you very much. Allen, Hampton, Derrick Henry, Igbuka, London, Ridley, and Njoku, Harvey. Bench equals ETN, Dak, Gordon. I'm not sure if I read this one or not. Allen, Hampton, Henry, Igbuka. I'm trading Henry if it's me. I love London. I love Igbuka. I love Josh Allen. I'm keeping Hampton. Hendy for a Genty, Bucky, or Achane downgrade. Or Hendy. So Hendy, Genty, Achane, Genty. And trying to upgrade Ridley slightly. So do a 2 for 2. B. Jackson, I'm sorry for the delay on that. $20 hauler from B. Jackson. Thank you for your patience.
Alert. Super chat alert.
What do you think of that one, B. Jackson? Ridley and Henry for Genty or Bucky or Achane or Hendy and getting a wide receiver upgrade. Try that. Tate, thank you. I'm sorry about that, Tate. And B. Jackson, I'm sorry about it as well. What about that? What kind of wide receiver? Can you go? I don't know if you have time, B. Jackson, before I leave, but can you find out what the Bucky, Genty, and Achane owners have at wide receiver that you could pull this move off to get Ridley upgraded? Not trading Buka. That's the main move I'm trying to do. Henry for one of those three, even Hendy. Henry for Hendy, and then you're getting an even bigger wide receiver over Ridley than you would be if you're getting Genty or Achane. So B Jackson, can you look at that? I don't know if I'll still be here by the time you find that and type it in, but that would help me. These two $20 haulers, appreciate you, Wes and Jay. Wes, 2 flex, 1 QB, 10-man. My draft order: Gibbs, BTJ, McBride, JD5, Hendy, Worthy, Buka, Pacheco, Sharps, Rice, Bo Nix. Jeez Louise, bro. Worldwide, you did a fantastic job. Do I trade Worthy after weeks 5 and 6? Maybe, but yeah, let's let it play out for a little bit. You don't even need to make a trade. Honestly, like, I don't even know what you do. Pacheco and like Worthy for right now. Pacheco and Worthy right now for maybe a London. You know, Pacheco and Worthy for, you could say Lad McConkey is worth that maybe, or Puka. Past that, like, bro, you've got a 8.9 or 9.0 team. I think this is 9.0. Who's your quarterback? JD5. Geez, 9.0. You're 9.0. Angel, 9.0. Angel, 9.0 worldwide. Great job, bro. What a squad. Unbelievable squad. B Jackson with the more question marks. I did answer I did answer your super chat, B Jackson. You still there? Travis Hunter to the moon. B Jackson, I did answer your question. Just waiting for you to maybe come up with maybe you did. Let me see. I don't see a response. Jay, Smitty is him. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. I'm so sorry for the delay and wait. Jay, you still here? Got offered Hendy and Nico for my Bajan. I'd take Hendy and Nico and run. Fantastic team. So you'd have Hendy and Bucky. You'd have Nico, London, Pearsall, Egbuka, Debo, bench, Harvey. And then you can maybe flip Harvey and Pearsall potentially for a slight upgrade. Or not a slight upgrade, a freaking monster upgrade, BTJ-ish. Or go back into the running back realm because you just got a wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, Nico goes running your lineup. So Pearsall and Harvey, or Sharps, you wait on Sharps or Gordon and Harvey, you just let them all ferment on the bench. That's probably the move to make. Pearsall probably goes up or stays the same because he's going to get fed in week 1. Debo goes up in value. Buka goes up in value, and they're in your lineup anyway. And Harvey, Sharps, and Gordon all increase in value. Pickens increases in value. Pearsall and Pickens now, though, with good value to get a BTJ or a Lad or a Puka would be a phenomenal move right now without waiting at all. That's what I'd probably do, my boy. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got 2 more in the building, and then I'm going to look for B. Jackson's response. Thoughts on Benson this year? B. Jackson, thank you for the $20 hauler. I hope the delay doesn't discourage you from super chatting again. I'm sorry about missing that one. If anybody else, if I missed your super chat, drop the red emoji question mark. Not a normal question mark, the red emoji so I can identify it. But make sure you're using it because I'm searching for a super chat. Don't try and cry wolf. Thoughts on Benson this year? I like him a lot. I think he's more of a stash. You know, you're not necessarily getting the world out of him right away, but he's a mid-season monster for a reason because we don't expect the world one. But Benson eventually does, I think, get into the lineup because I think we probably just don't see a healthy Connor all year. He's getting older. He's aging out. Last year was the first time he didn't really get hurt. He's usually getting hurt every year. Benson's going to be said to get more and more work. Connor himself said they're a 1A and 1B. You know, got offered Chuba Hubbard and Tyler Warren for my Bowers. That's pretty good. I have JCM, Javante. It's pretty good, but chat, what do we think on that? I probably say I like Chuba Hubbard. I don't know why I'm not blown away by this offer. I should be because I love Tyler Warren, and I do like Chuba Hubbard, but Bowers is hard to trade. I think I just want a little bit better player than Chuba, and that's tough to say because he's so good. But am I wrong? Someone said not enough. That's what I'm thinking. This is so late, but Hampton or Hendy? Hendy for me. Hampton or Hendy? I go Hendy. Yeah, I'm gonna say the chat's. I agree with the chat. I think Bowers just commands a little more than this. I like. Look, Tyler Warren. Here's why this doesn't make sense. Tyler Warren is not there yet. This trade would be you buying Tyler Warren at his ceiling instead of buying Tyler Warren at the value he currently holds. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, he's not a top 5 tight end ranked, but we think he will be. So you're buying him on my hype. You're not buying him on fair market value. So if you were to go get Tyler Warren, you would need a Hendy. And some might say Chuba's better than Hendy, but we don't think that. You need a Hendy. You need a Achan. You need something of that degree with Tyler Warren. You know, probably like I don't even know if like a Ladd McConkey would be enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd have to be somebody that lives like in round 2, because Bowers lives in 2. So you're getting a tight end that's underrated, that doesn't belong anywhere in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. He's like a 7th or 8th rounder in Tyler Warren, and you're trading 2nd round players. So yeah, it's not enough. As much as I want it to be enough, it's not enough. And then B Jackson, did you respond at all, B Jackson? I mean, I got all your question mark emojis. You put them in there a ton. I don't see your response though. Yeah, you got me a fire. Okay, good. I was thinking about that. B Jackson, I'm sorry about the delay. Hopefully I didn't discourage you from doing it again. I'm sorry. Sometimes one will slip through the crack. But anybody else, if I missed your super chat, let me know. And I'll definitely get to it. Missed my super chat. It says Tate. I took care of Tate. Shrimpy, I did take care of you. Shrimpy, you still out there? I took care of you. I didn't miss your super chat. It was just delayed, my boy. My Josh Allen MHJ for Chase and May. Shrimpy, did you get my answer? My Josh Allen MHJ for Jamar Chase and Drake May. I'm taking Chase and May. Yeah. You're talking about Josh Allen being a 3rd rounder, MHJ being a 3rd rounder. You're talking about Jamar Chase being the number 1 overall player in many contexts, and May being underrated and probably not that far off of what we're. I mean, he's gonna be good. Traded Ridley and Monty for Buka. Definitely a win. TM42. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to do, is moves like that. That's definitely the move. That's definitely the move. Celebratory messages. Let's see here if we have any of those. Membership $200 at 10-man in my $10 holler, not 20. $200 10-man in my $10, not 20. Okay, I don't know what I said, but I was probably just some verbal diarrhea coming out of my mouth, bro, as I'm speed reading. 0.5 start Harvey or Judy. I'm gonna go probably Judy's safer. High risk, high reward. $5 hauler has been waiting over an hour, says Chris. Chris, I did get to you though, I think already. I'm sorry, bro. There's nothing I can do. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, when they all come in at once, what am I supposed to do? I'm reading them as fast as a human being can read them. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry about the wait. Bench Jacoby, Chuba Cook drop for Ibuka. Hitman, I really don't think this is a serious question. How is Ibuka on waiver? How did you let Ibuka go undrafted, first of all? And your drop would be Jacoby Myers. And it's Cook, not Cooks. You can't drop Hall or any of those guys. You know. Sundog, appreciate you. 10-man. Like the team. Knicks, Kyron. Looks like a squad. I like it, bro. I feel my wide receivers are weak. Yeah, you know, I would probably try and work on that, I suppose. Garrett Wilson's not bad, though. DJ Moore, you could consolidate this. DJ Moore and Garrett Wilson for one better player. You could go Judy and J-Mo or Pickens with one better player. Wait on Gordon. Gordon gets you value. So, I don't know. Judy and Moore, or J-Mo and Judy, or J-Mo and Moore, or Garrett Wilson and J-Mo for one BTJ. You know, Lad McConkey's one of my favorite wide receivers. Him and Puka right now, in redraft at least. I like Lad in Dynasty too, but like Puka, I have concerns in Dynasty. But sometimes beggars can't be choosers. In the Dynasty startup league that we did here on the channel, I traded for Puka Nacua, and there's no other wide receivers that I could get that were ones, and I am trying to win now. So I took it, but I am a little nervous about his long-term value. Accepting that Hendy, Nico for my Bijan, drop who? Jay, I don't have that list in front of me anymore, but okay, Hendy and Nico, take Hendy and Nico. But you got to list the super chats not here anymore. So I don't know who to drop. You have to give me the list of players, but definitely pull the trade off, bro. Need a running back too. Got CMC locked in at running back 1. Is he though? I have Harvey and Chubb. Please help. Need help at running back 2. So it's Harvey. Chubb's not anything right now, bro. Chubb can't even move left or right. You know, Marks is gonna eventually take his job, or they're gonna trade for a running back. Smitty, just wanted to say you're that dude. 3rd season watching, you brought 2 championships. Thank you, Z-Man. I'm not perfect, that's for sure. You know, I'm never gonna hit everything, but I also can't get through these super chats sometimes fast enough for everybody, and I feel bad about that. But I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to roll through them as quickly as I can while keeping the content, you know, enjoyable. And we're at 8:33 p.m. my time. We're about 27 minutes away from midnight. We'll see if we come back. Yeah, we'll see if we come back. If we do, it'll probably be like 1 a.m. Eastern. Hey, Smitty, pick up B-Rob. Pick up B-Rob or Ollie. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, what am I doing here? 3 hours and 10 minutes of this. You really asking me B-Rob Jr. or Ollie Gordon? Is B-Rob Jr. on my Supernova list? Help JK, don't spaz on me. Okay, real quick question. Should I accept this trade? I get Debo and Henry for Adams and Bucky. I want Adams and Bucky. It's not even close. I condone trading Adams away for a safer player. I'd rather have Debo than Adams. But I am not trading Bucky. If you're getting Debo and Henry, yes, no. And why are we asking this question? Is Ollie Gordon on my Supernova list? Yes. That means he's one of the best 13 picks in fantasy football, period. Is Brian Robinson Jr. the backup? You know what I'm saying? Built from nothing. Ollie Gordon's built from nothing. And he's going to have a Chupacabra video very, very soon. And on that note, I leave you with the Supernovas. I'll see you guys in just probably an hour and a half, maybe.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8
Yes, Richard. Take Genty and Buka from Bijan.
I'm looking at the 8 supernovas. Actually, it's 12. Actually, it's 13.
Actually,
the magnificent 13. 13.
The first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
See you all at about, I don't know. If I do come back, I'm pretty sure I will. Don't forget, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Scott Hansen will be on a live stream here on the channel. I'll do a specific live stream with Scott Hansen at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Eastern to discuss last year's conversations. He'll be on for about 15 minutes. He's got a hard stop, but he squeezed out time for me because he knows he has to come back and talk about that Penix Jr. and JD5 conversation we had. See you all tomorrow, no matter what. at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and then also 8 p.m. Eastern, and also probably midnight Eastern. But we'll be back. Scotty Hansen on the show, baby, tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you hopefully tonight in about an hour and a half. Not promising it, but I hoping I do come back. See you all later. Appreciate you. Thank you for all my super chats. BBQ, thank you. Guys, drop BBQ emoji on the way out the door. Drop a, let's see, we got to check the celebratory, or no, the gifted memberships. Gifted memberships from, let's see here. Do we have any gifted memberships? I don't think we did actually today. But BBQ dropping that mother freaking $500 hauler. Unbelievable. He's a unicorn. He's the man. He's the myth. He's a legend. BBQ has tied.
He is a unicorn.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live additionally whenever big news breaks. And live most midnights Eastern. See you guys here a little bit after midnight tonight. BBQ to the moon. Appreciate BBQ. Ron Navy to the moon. All those amazing ones. Smitty spazzed on me. I didn't spaz on you, Bill. I just gave you the truth. All right, see you all later. Spaz, thank you for the super chat. See you all tonight.